Okay, asante. All right. Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson, and we are today on the. Do we say that Christmas Eve, or this is the Christmas Day? I mean, and tuko hapa na mwenzangu Makobura, naona pia msimama ametoka kidogo. Pia naona ndugu yetu ambaye amekuwa na sisi kwa muda mrefu sana, anaitwa Laban Misiani. Laban Misiani, naamini kwamba siku yako imeendelea vyema na utatuelezea mengi kuhusu broad based government. Na jana pia, by the way, tulikuwa na mtu wa broad based government na tukamwambia kwamba wewe ndio chairperson. Sasa kwa itikadi zetu tulisema ukikuja tutakuelezea kwamba kuna ndugu yako alikuwa hapa na pia alitupatia mawazo yake na tukakubaliana nayo. Sasa hauko peke yako hapa, naona kama familia imeanza kujenga watu wa broad based, na hiyo ndio tunataka watu wa broad based, tunataka watu wa one term, tunataka watu wa no term, ndio kila mtu atuuzie sera zao tujue hao wanaelekea wapi. Makobura, habari gani?
Asante sana. Kwanza kabisa ningependa kukusalimia na vilevile kusalimia mwenzetu Laban, na bila kusahau msimamo ambaye alikuwa hapa.
Yeah.
I want to take this opportunity to wish each and everyone a Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And of course, with the hope that they did enjoy their day. As we, for example, me, I believe in, I profess the religion of Christianity. I'm also a Catholic, so it is a special day for us who believes that this is the birthday, or it's a day that we remember the birth of Christ. Christ came to the world. Even though he was God, he came and was born as a human being, and he did a lot in transforming the world. So today is a special day for those people who believe in Jesus Christ, and not just Jesus Christ, the fraternity of Christianity, and not just the fraternity of Christianity. It is a day of reflection of, the faith that we profess. It is also a day of sharing love, a day of sharing, of the little that you've been blessed with. It is a day of forgiveness as well. It is a day that is full of love. It is a day that is full of nice things. Yeah.
Asante sana ndugu yangu Makobura kwa hayo. Pia naona Laban Misiani anasema tutam. Okay, karibu sana Mr. Laban. Natumai kwamba ulikuwa na siku mzuri, siku njema, sikukuu, ulikula vizuri, labda ulitembelea marafiki ama familia ama walikutembea, na nadhani mambo ilikuwa shwari. Makobura, pia wewe nadhani kwamba pia ulisherekea, lakini kama hukusherekea labda ulipata kusukuma kitu kwa mama pia akuwe akienjoy jambo ambalo linaendelea. Na bado tunasubiri Miguda, msimamo na Joseph. Joseph sijasikia kutoka kwake. Sijui kama ameenda Christmas, imempotelea, lakini ndamwandikia ujumbe fupi nimuulize hali vipi. Najua itakuwa salama sana. Makobura, sina mengi ya kusema, lakini unajua ukikuja sana katika Kenya unawezi kosa mambo ya siasa. Siasa lipo. Now, we are seeing another battle for ODM, and there's another counter-accusation of selling ODM, especially this time came from Junet Mohammed, who is the Suna East Member of Parliament, who is accusing some ODM members, or not even accusing some ODM members, is accusing the former president, Uhuru Kenyatta, to be the one behind divisions that are being witnessed, or the cracks that are being witnessed in ODM. And when it comes to politics, each and every statement a politician is making, there is a particular objective, or there's a particular idea or a particular agenda that the statement will achieve. And this one came when Junet was making this allegation, or he was making these claims. The same time, Salah Okech, the adopted son of Raila Amolo Odinga, also made some remarks about Sifuna that he claims that he was told by the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga that, I will read for you that. So that is something that we are going to talk about. And again, today, the videos of the lady who, if you look on the record, was the wife of the former Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, is still trending. And I told you, and you have to bear me witness with this. Every time when such like statements are made, especially for the family of Raila Amolo Odinga, first of all, you have to look at it politically. There's a political angle that is being driven. And will it achieve its agenda? Yes, it might. Two, it might not. But this one will manifest itself in the days to come. So we will be watching on that. There's a statement also that I will talk to you about yesterday about Musalia Mudavadi. And when Musalia Mudavadi makes such like statement, don't take them very lightly. You will find that could be one of the things that might be proposed, especially when it comes to election. Because this proposal, when we were going to have election, what should happen also, we should have election. It comes in package, election together with the referendum, so that we can correct some, it talks about some of the constitutional matters. And I say that if we cannot respect the constitutions that we have today, then what is it that we need to correct? And from his conversation, you can know where the conversation is going. It's about the issue of leader of opposition. That position must be created, and they feel that one might solve the issues that we are going through. I'm also seeing here Mabella number. This is our good friend. Hey, I hope you are okay. I wanted just to shoot you a text to ask how you're doing, and I can see you are there. So that is okay. So there's quite a much that is taking place that we will talk about here. And just to brief you, a few that I picked today, and I see Laban Misiani is also requesting for a link. Makobura, you can assist me with that, with that, so that we can have. So this is he is a one-term president. Top politician predicts what will happen to Ruto before 2027 election. Speaking on Wednesday during an interview with the TV47, one of the country's top politicians strongly criticized President William Ruto, accusing him of neglecting the will of Kenyans who elected him into office. Yeah, so this is what he says, and she claimed that many citizens are unhappy with the direction and the country is taking and feel that the government has abandoned its people. According to her, the president has failed to listen to the concerns of ordinary Kenyans who are struggling with high living costs and economic pressure. So this is one observation that is made with the high profile politicians. And she was in one of the TV stations of the country. So he was just giving an opinion. Another very, very big issue here that we have two-term, a big boost to president as politicians declare support towards him until 2032. Major political boost has emerged for President William Ruto after a prominent Kenyan politician currently serving as a governor publicly declared her support for him through 2027. So those are just like a few that I can pick from today. Let me also, this is Martha Karua. Ruto is racing to absolute power in 3 years. We will stop him. Karua explodes. This is Karua also giving his sentiments on President William Ruto presidency. On this chat, if you are very keen, I don't know why they keep on talking about President William Ruto, but they don't talk, other politicians. So this is another one that is also creating backlash. DCI identify Probox owners near Jirongo crash site. So that is something that is taking place right now about the Jirongo death. People are so much looking to see, or people are wondering, or people wants to know what is really caused the death of Jirongo. That is something that we are here. I'm seeing this. I don't know whether how true it is. Responding to fools only makes you a bigger fool. I can't reply Kasmuel Makoure, Edwin Sifuna. I don't know how true is that. You will confirm that. Samuel, I'm going now on Twitter. Samuel Wekesa, I can quote, Kasmuel is right. If Edwin Sifuna is not willing to support the broad-based government, then he should resign as an ODM secretary. Yeah, so those are just observations that is being given on Edwin Sifuna based on the fact that what Junet Muhammad raised yesterday, and that's where we are. To begin with, Makobura, how are you doing? And I can see my brother Natembea. So, Natai, sorry Natai. Na Simba, habari gani? Simba. Haya, naona ndugu yetu hapa Bata Otengo, Ruto will go home. Thank you so much for your observation. I'm still waiting for Simba to make communication. Miguda, how are you doing?
Hello, bro. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you doing?
I'm doing very fine. I'm doing great. I've been around here today. I'm just observing my fellow people celebrating their Christmas.
Yeah.
And I'm also happy with some friends of mine. You have seen me somewhere. I'm at outdoor, but I've managed to come to the studio.
Oh, that is quite much interesting. Just say hi to your friends and let them know that we are having a conversation here. They can also join us in our conversation and share with us their opinion. Okay, so I'll come back to you. Msimamo, habari gani kakangu?
Ndugu, nashukuru Mungu tena kwa mara nyingine ya pili kwamba ingawaje kugumu, lakini kila ilivyo, hata kama ni maji ya kunywa tumekunywa, tunafaa pia kuipongeza hii siku kubwa ya kuweza kuzaliwa Yesu Kristo, maana mambo ni magumu kila ilivyo. Huku kwetu tunasema kama ni mnyama ni mkubwa kama vile ndovu anavyoanguka ndivyo achinjwavyo. Kwa hiyo kaka Simano, hata kama tumekunywa maji, lakini tumeiona siku ya leo kwamba ni Christmas. Asante.
Nimeshukuru sana kakaangu. Ni kweli, unajua kitu cha muhimu kwanza ni umeona siku na uko buheri wa afya, kitu muhimu sana. Na pia wale ambao wanaamini katika siku hii ya leo pia tunawaombea mema, na pia tunawaombea washerekee vizuri. Kama wamebarikiwa pia wasisahau wale majirani zao ambao labda Mungu wabariki siku ya leo, wakuje pamoja wakule hicho kidogo ambao wako nayo, so washerekee pamoja. Mabela, habari gani? Amesema Miguda amekula chapo mpaka tumbo imefura. Okay, ndugu zangu, asanteni sana kwa kuchukua nafasi yenu ili mkuje hapa tujadiliane. Ni mjadala tu ambao tunataka kuwa nayo, na sisi pia tutoe tu hoja zetu kulingana na yale ambao tunaona inatembea pale mtandaoni. Na mambo ambayo tumekuwa nayo kwa muda mrefu hapa ni chama cha ODM, ambayo ni chama kikubwa ambayo imekita mizizi na iko na idadi ya wafuasi wengi sana. Juzi kati hapa tulipata kusikia kwamba, ama tulisikia kwamba ikitoka kwa Winnie Odinga kwamba kuna wale ambao wako na njama ya kuuza chama. Baadaye aliyekuwa rais, makamu wa rais, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, akakuja akasema kwamba kuna tita la ama kibunda la pesa ambayo ililipwa na akasema kwamba wale ambao walihusika kuchukua ile deposit, akaitana majina kama Gladys Wanga na akaita pia Junet Mohamed, au wakati ambapo tulikuwa tunaomboleza baba, ni kwamba hata kama deposit wameshachukua, hii chama wanaiuza ama wanainadi kwa Rais President William Ruto. Hayo ikakuja juzi kati, tukaona Orengo, Sifuna na Ososi pia akasema labda kuna wale ambao wako na njama ya kuuza chama. Lakini jana kulitokea tena, sasa lawama imerushwa kwa wale watu wa pili, kwamba Uhuru, huyo sasa ni Junet Mohamed, sasa ameita jina ya aliyekuwa rais Uhuru Kenyatta, kwamba huyu bwana ni mtu ambaye analeta haya migogoro katika chama na ako tayari kutoa karibu bilioni ili chama iendelee na ikue maarufu sana. Na vile vile tukaona pia ule kijana ambaye anaitwa kijana wa Raila, Okech Sala, pia amesema kwamba wakati mazungumzo yao na baba, walikuwa na mazungumzo na baba, ile mazungumzo ya kifaraga, baba akamwambia kwamba amini Sifuna na huyu ni jamaa ambaye anafaa tolewe kwa chama kwa haraka, kwa sababu huyu ni msaliti hapa kwa chama. Sasa huyo ndio Okech Sala alikuwa anasema, na juzi kati pia waona kwamba alienda pale Jakaranda akatoa kitita kibunda cha pesa, niliona kama milioni 1 kwa wale mavijana ambao wako pale Jakaranda. So maswali ni mengi, labda nikianza tu na wewe ndugu yangu Msimamo, kwa hii mambo ambao sasa tunaona kwamba kuna sasa ODM imekuwa chama ambayo iko katika mnada, na yule ambaye atauziwa, labda yule ambaye atatoa fedha, kuna wale anasema kwamba anataka kuuziwa President William Ruto, na jana Junet pia anasema kwamba wale wengine pia wanataka kuuzia, ama ni kama Uhuru Kenyatta anania kuilipia fedha fulani, kulingana na Junet Mohamed. Sasa hii nakwambia, hii chama inaelekea wapi wewe? Hebu niambie. Okay, ni kama Msimamo amepotea kidogo. Miguda, wacha nikuje kwako, alafu nitakuja kwa Mako Bura. We maoni yako ni gani?
Hapana, nipo kama unanisikia.
Okay, sawa sawa.
Yes, nao ni hivi, nitalijibu swali lako kwa hivi. Kwanza asante kwa swali lenye tija. Alright? Ni kwamba swali lako nitalijibu kwa kusema hivi. Mimi ingawaje niko na chama changu, lakini vile vile bado niko na takataka za ODM bado moyoni. Unaona, na sitaacha kukizungumzia chama hata siku moja cha ODM, kwa sababu nakitaka kielekee kuliko na kitoke kusiko. Unajua, tulizungumza tangia awali hapa Benson kwamba hiki chama kimefungwa kamba katikati. There are some who believes wameachwa kwa broad based government na hawezi toka hapo. But there are some who wanasema hapana, tuko hapo kimkataba. Already hii inaonyesha mgawanyiko ndani ya chama. Na siku zote nasema ni bora kubana mnyambo kuliko kubana kikohozi. Kwani nasema hivi, kauli za hawa wanasiasa ndizo ambazo zinatukanganya. Hawa wanasema sisi tuliachwa hapa na lazima tutengeneze hii serikali ili tujitafutie nafasi ya kutengeneza serikali kuu sasa ifikapo 2032. Wamo ndani ya ODM. Lakini kuna wale wanasema hapana, ODM si chama chetu sisi viongozi, ni chama cha Wakenya wote. Kwa hivyo kama ni masuala yanahusiana na chama, lazima yahusishwe wananchi ambao ndio wanachama. Na mkataba uliopo tulioachwa nao na hayati mwenda zake ni kwamba lazima haya mambo yetu 10 yaanze kufuatilia yatimizwe, kwa maana wanaamini haswa kwamba yakitimizwa yanamfeva mwananchi. So still bado wako na plus. Nao haya 10 hayakuwa implemented already kuna mgawanyiko kama ambavyo umetangulia kuzungumza kwamba Relaxa kina Wini na wengine wanasema hapana, kuna mpango wa hiki chama kuuzwa. Ni kweli. Mimi naweza sema kwa kubwa kwamba ipo hiyo mbinu, na kama nikiuzwa basi madalali wajitokeze. Kuna ule atataka kununua kwa upande wake na ule atanunua upande wake. So kama Uhuru anakuja kwa sababu anakinunua kichama kama ambavyo mnazungumza hapa kwamba kuna mpango wa kununua ama kufanya divert, sawa, bora kama anakinunua kirudi upande wetu wa kusimama na wananchi, si kule ambako kuna hawa ambao wanakula mishahara na minofu, wameweka ukuta kwa wananchi kuweza kujikita pale kwamba waamini kwamba mwacha kwa serikali na hawataenda tena kwa maandamano, bali ni kuenda kwa power. Lazima waingie kwa power. So hata kama kuna machafu yako ndani, lakini lazima power kwanza, alafu machafu baadaye. Hawa ndo wauzaji chama. Kwa hiyo ombi langu ni kwamba mimi kila siku nazungumza hapa kwamba ODM ni chama ambacho kimezagaa katika taifa, ni chama kongwe, kinafaa kuonyesha mstari wa mbele hata kama kimewachwa mkiwa na mwenda zake huyu, lakini wasianze kugawana na kuyumba huku na kule, wasimame na msimamo kukiweza kukileta kwa wananchi. Maana hawa wanaovuta kusema wako kwa broad based government, kitu ambacho wananikosa nacho ni kuleta kwamba wanakileta kama ngome, kionekana chama cha Waluo tu. So sisi ndio ambao tulipigania sisi the word sisi haikuwepo katika hiki chama na haukuwa mwongozo wa mwenda zake. So for now mimi nitasema hivi, hizi dalili zipo hata kama Uhuru anahusika kwa kiasi kimoja, lakini jamani, mpaka tuangalie huyu anayehusika Uhuru na yule ambaye anayehusika upande ule wa broad based government, nani anafadhali, nani atakilegeza hiki chama kuliko yote 9? La 10 ni viongozi waamue. Je, msimamo wa chama ni upi? Watuambie hadharani kabisa, kwa sababu juzi tulisikia kwamba kuna ODM halisi inakuja. Already huu ni kuonyesha kwamba hii kauli japo hajasema nini, lakini anasema kuna ODM halisi. So already ni kwamba hiki chama kimekuwa diverted, kimekuwa divided into two. Wasiwasi wangu ni kwamba kikididimia haswa kwenye mdomo wa mamba, lakini kama wananchi watasimama kule ambako ndiko, basi ODM itasimama imara kama kawaida na itaendelea kuchukua viti. Bora iendeane tu na muongozo ambao uliachwa na mzee, kwamba ODM ni chama huru, ni chama cha Wanakenya wote, si chama cha sehemu moja tu. Kwa hawa wanao kinadi kionekana ni cha watu sehemu moja, wakipanga wao wamepanga kwa niaba ya watu wote, ama wananchi wote, ama wafuasi wote, wana mess up kwamba ikipangwe tu na viongozi wa Nyanza kwa sababu baba yao ndo alikuwa kinara. Kwa hiyo hiki chama kwa sababu no, hakijajengwa katika hiyo misingi, kilijengwa na kila mtu. Ni chama ambacho hata hawa ambao wako kwa serikali wengi wao wamepitia kwa ODM ndio wapate nafasi ya kuingia kwa serikali. So kimetengeza major role. Haifai wakati huu kwa wachache wanaoshiba waeke ukuta kwa watu wa Nyanza. Maana mwisho wa siku kionekana chama ni cha watu wa Nyanza, kitabaki na watu wa Nyanza. So instead of 24%, nadhani itashuka zaidi, kwa sababu contribution yao ilikuwa 24%. 76% ilikuwa ya wananchi wengine ambao waliweza kutunga mkono. So wasiwasi wangu uko pale kwamba that 24% itakuwa subdivided into two. Wale wanasema sisi ni ODM halisi na hatuko kwa bado, watakuwa na fungu lao. Kwa hiyo hiyo percentage ya 24% ya votes itabidi ikatwe mara mbili, kwa hivyo hawa watakula 12 na hawa watakuwa 12. So ikitazidi kudidimia mazima. Nitaachia hapo kwa ufunguzi wangu.
Asante sana kakaangu kwa maoni yako, na labda tu nikuje kwa ndugu yangu Miguda, na ndakusomea tu Miguda, ndio sasa ukipatiana hoja zako utakuwa unapatiana hoja kulingana na mambo ambayo labda itambatana na swali. Baba told me that Sifuna is a mole being used to divide ODM and should be removed without delay. Ni jambo ambalo limesemwa na Okech Sala, na unajua Okech Sala ni mtu ambaye alikuwa karibu sana na baba, na hata wakati alikuwa kwa matibabu kule India tuliona Okech Sala amekuwa naye, na matukio mengi pia tumeona Okech alikuwa kwa baba, ama walikuwa nasumbuliwa sana na baba. We Miguda, kwa maoni yako, kulingana na saizi mambo ambayo sisi labda sasa tunajua, kwa sababu kuna upande mbili ambao wote wanasema kwamba kuna upande ambao inataka kunadi chama kwa Rais William Ruto, na pia kuna wale ambao wanataka kunadi hii chama kwa aliyekuwa rais wa kitambo Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Sasa inamaanisha ODM imebaki ni chama ambayo haina msingi ama haina mwelekeo, mpaka ikafika mahali sasa inataka kupigwa mnada ama inataka kuuzwa kwa yule mtu ambaye labda atatoa fedha nyingi katika soko za usiasa ama katika uwanja wa siasa za Kenya.
Asante sana kwa muda huu. Ningependa kuzungumzia jambo ambalo umeniuliza. Ya kwanza kabisa, ningependa kusema ya kwamba nashukuru kwa kunipatia muda huu, na wakati huu nazungumza na wewe ni katika eneo bunge la Suna East constituency, ambaye leo hii asubuhi nimepata nafasi ya kukutana na mheshimiwa huyo Junet Mohamed, na pia unajua hii Jumamosi unakuja tutakuwa na Rais William Ruto hapa hivi. Yeye atakuwa mgeni wa heshima katika michezo zake vijana hapa Suna East constituency. Sasa ningependa kusema tu, mimi naelewa siasa, na kulingana na mimi Junet Mohamed alikuwa anazungumzia wakati alipeana basi ya shule, na wakati huo alipeana basi ya shule katika eneo inaitwa Nyarongi. Junet ni mwanasiasa ambaye yeye ni mwanafunzi wa baba, na kama wewe mwanasiasa, kuna saizi sarakasi ilitokea kwamba kuna wale wanaotaka kuuza chama kwake Rais William Ruto. Junet alikuwa mmoja wapo na dada yake ama yule mwenyekiti Gladys Wanga. Sasa wakati unapokuwa unashtakiwa ya kwamba wewe uko na njama ya kuuza chama, kama mwanasiasa, hii ni wakati mwafaka nzuri ya kufikiria na kupata jawabu ya kujibu ya wale watu. Sasa yeye ameleta ile kitu tunaita kwa siasa propaganda. Kwa siasa propaganda ni kitu ambayo imekubalika. Na propaganda, ukitaka kusikia Junet akitoa propaganda, aenda eneo bunge lake ambaye ako na nguvu na wafuasi wake. Hapo hakuna mtu yote anaweza mtisha. Na vile vile ako mgeni wa heshima Jumamosi, rais. Sasa yeye kuna jukumu ya kuhakikisha yeye amefanya ile kazi ya kudefend rais na amefanya ile kazi ya kuattack. Ayo, wacha nimalize, nitazungumza. Anachukua nafasi yake ya kuattack Kenyatta. Sasa mimi naelewa siasa. Nakwambia siasa chapa jana ilikuwa propaganda kali sana. Hiyo propaganda ni propaganda tamu sana kwa siasa. Unajua wale wanafunzi wa kisiasa lazima kuwe mtu ambaye unafikiria kwa haraka, na vile vile unaweza zungumzia ile jambo ambalo ukizungumzia unaweza pata wale wafuasi wako wanapigwa na butua. Sasa kusema tu kweli, Junet alisema ya kwamba alikutana na mtu, hakutaja huyo mtu. Unajua kuna vitu kwa propaganda ni vitu ambaye you cannot substantiate them. Watu wanaropoka tu. Sasa Junet mimi namuelewa, Junet ni mwanasiasa hodari sana. Kama mambo na propaganda, yeye anapewa propaganda. Sasa ningependa kuzungumzia mambo ya huyo rafiki yangu Joseph. Joseph umesema kwamba Miguda ameingia kwa ligi ya matajiri. Ama Miguda ameingia kwa dynasty. Mimi nilikuwepo hapo kitambo, hata kabla Junet akuje, hata Rais Ruto. Hawa ni tu kama si mambo na siasa ama viongozi, hawangekuwa hapo. Mimi nilizaliwa na mimi si yule mwenye nakuja kudanganya wanaisha kwamba mimi sijui nimekuwa hustler sijui nini. Mimi kusema tu kweli nasema tunashukuru Mungu sijateseka vile. Sasa unapata kina Ruto na kina Junet historia yao wao wanatoka. Sasa si ati nimejaa leo mimi nimekuwa huko. Sasa brother Benson, wacha nimalize nikisema hivi. Sasa according to me, this propaganda being used by politicians to respond to other propagandists. And like the way I told you, my friend, Mabella number one, me, even if I'm elected today, even whatever, it won't change me. I've lived that life before. The life young people are yearning to have big cars, They are yearning to have big mansion. They are yearning to have money in their pockets. Me, I've been there, so it won't change my life. So what I'm trying to say, according to me, in my own view and opinion, that this is a propaganda tool being used by Junet to ensure that he also respond to the people. Because when he was accused by Gachagua that already he has taken a deposit, he has a duty to respond to Gachagua. So he was respond to Gachagua that not only us who want to broke, we are not only the brokers, but we are more brokers in the party. The people who are not broking for them, they are broking the party to William Ruto, but the other function are broking it to Uhuru Kenyatta. So the same thing. That's how I understand what you said.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. And now, if you talk about being a propaganda, and as you know that what ODM is now going through, it is going through a rough time because there's a lot of divided opinion on where they should or what way is good for them or what route should they follow. There are those who for broad-based government and there are those for who are not supporting the broad-based government. And now, to maybe in brief, what benefit is this one bringing to ODM? Because now you are including the name of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and this is how Moses Kuria responded to Junet Mohammed, and you will tell me the benefit. To my friend Junet Mohammed, I know there are many problems that ODM is going through, but I want to assure you that among the list of top 10 problems, Uhuru Kenyatta does not feature there. Look for your problems elsewhere, brother. That is the response of Moses Kuria, on Moses Kuria.
Okay, I just want to go into details. I never wanted to go into details. The reason why I'm saying it's a propaganda in politics, because remember right now, Raila Odinga is no more.
Yeah.
And people are in that party.
Yeah.
And even if Raila was there, and even they were saying do not want to sell ODM to Ruto. So after selling to Ruto, what is Ruto going to do with ODM? Is ODM a cow you want to take to the market and sell? You know, you can be bought as an individual or a group of people, but you cannot take everybody with you to Ruto. So even that's my essence of reasoning. How
Okay.
and even if Uhuru bought it, what is he going to do with ODM after all, even if he purchase it? That's why I will say it's a propaganda, and you need to understand it's a propaganda because it is not substantiated by any post. That's the Junet was given a deposit, but he cannot substantiate that deposit. The same way you say, I met someone at a Royal Swiss Hotel, but he cannot substantiate. In politics, propaganda must be understood as a propaganda because you say that I'm ready even to go to court because he knows that there is no credible evidence to prove whatever he was saying. So according to me, I want to treat it as a propaganda. That's why Moses Kuria is also treating it as a propaganda that even if we will buy ODM today, what is it that is going to be the ODM? I don't see, even if you buy ODM today, people end up finding ODM nini. So it's just a matter of ensuring that they are what I understand is that when Raila died, there's that scramble for ODM. There are people who want to scramble for ODM. And it is open. It is open because like the issue for ODM can't be static because Raila is not there. People must scramble for it. People cannot wait for anything. So I believe that me, as I want to stick to my point that it's a propaganda. Junet is someone I know. I understand his body language. When he's serious, I know he's serious. When he's a propaganda, I know he's doing propaganda. So what he said yesterday was a propaganda. You know, if you want to see Junet, if you want to trend, you usually have a very strict propaganda to attract attention of the people. And that one Baba taught him as one of the students for Raila Odinga. You know, before they go to rally, they usually assemble, they discuss on what they're going to speak, and also it's like football. You have to give people your lineup, the first 11. You are a winger, you are a defender, you are a midfielder, you are a striker. So when it comes to the issue of propaganda, leave it to Junet. When it comes to this issue of attacking, leave it to so and so. When it comes to the issue of defense, leave it to Sifuna.
All right. Thank you so much. I can see my brother Joseph. How are you doing, sir?
Yes, how are you, my brother? Benson, Marco Bura, and Miguda. You know, Miguda is the one who has made me to come up here after hearing he's a dynasty. No, he has shocked me so much. Mimi nani Baba Mboga. Nimestuka sana kusikia Miguna akisema ni dynasty. So we need to get some things from Miguda.
Yeah.
We cannot be staying with a king here when you don't know. So I want to greet my brother Miguda and tell him it's nice to know that you're among the dynasties. Mnakunywa pale uji pole pole. So it's
not political dynasty. As our dynasty was made on hard work. It is not from the politics. We never, no one steal from public. It's just purely. So you must understand it very well. No one stole from public. It's out. It's a private entity.
I truly love Miguda so much. Always when I come here, I like to debate Miguda so much. So I think can I give my views a bit?
Okay, let me just hold on. Makobura can give his view, then you can come in, and maybe to just ask Makobura, based on what is happening, especially in ODM, be it a propaganda or there's no propaganda. When Junet says that, now this one confirms that maybe what was being said, that the ODM want to be sold, and to be sold does not necessarily mean that there's some money that is going to be given. It's like finding a way on how the ODM and UDA can work based on the agreement that they made. So it could be true that what was the accusation that Winnie said it, Rigathi Gachagua said it, Orengo or Soti Sifuna also said it, and now Sifuna is saying, okay, there is also somebody who want to sell it to President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Then who could this one be? And why is it that as a party, they've reached that point whereby now they cannot focus on how to make the party strong, but to auction the party?
Okay. Thank you so much. Allow me to say hi to our good friend Joseph, and to wish him a Merry Christmas. Ndugu yangu Joseph, Merry Christmas. And vile naweza ona Douglas Kibogonga in the comment section. Thank you so much Douglas. Jana ulisema unatutumia chapat, bado tunangoja tu chapat the way you promised. And then can also see Nyamu KM. Thank you so much for joining. Not forgetting Gen Z 001 Judith is also here. Thank you so much Judith for finding time on a Christmas day. Unajua Gen Z saizi ndio wanawakilisha haya maeneo zingine. Not forgetting, I can also see Disira Naya. Thank you so much for also finding time to join us. And our good friend, the two-term ambassador, Laban Misiani. Thank you so much as well for for joining. Na leo naona Miguda amechangamka.
Siku hizi amekuwa 3 term. Aliendea unga Kapseret.
Yeah, vile nimeona Miguda amechangamka, ni kama amekula chapat vizuri. Sijui kama aliona uji hapo kando ya chapat ama amechukua tu chapat peke yake.
Makobura, we nini na kusumbua na amesema they were with him today.
Miguda alikuwa anakula mbafu.
Miguda anafaa jitokeze na tuambie vizuri kiwaziwazi vile siku yake imekuwa, sikuwa nakula chapati peke yake bana. Hata sisi ni mahasla huku, tunataka hata bana, before the day ends, hata sisi tunafaa tukue tumekula chapati. Anyway, thank you so much. I want to give my views on the question that you've asked. The comments of Junet Mohammed. You know, Junet Mohammed is one of the cows that Raila left. That is a term that he used to at some point, remember, he used to say that, yeah, ni ng'ombe ya baba. Sometimes it feels like one. And of course, that is that tells you that he's been not, I don't know whether to call a sycophant or what, but he was one of the soldiers that Raila would entrust, and they would be given they'd be given instructions to execute, and they will end up executing it. to the best of their knowledge. And then, Junet Mohammed is currently advocating for the unity between ODM and UDA, that is the broad-based government. And if you've always listened to him, all his remarks are all pro-broad, in support of broad-based. And if you see him coming out to attack Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta or saying that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is planning to buy the ODM party, what comes into your mind is, why is he saying that? And we are also supposed to look into the real matter here. Do you think Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta might be having that intention? To me, all I can say is that Junet Mohammed understands that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is still strong politically. And if you remember, some few days ago, Jubilee Party was almost standing alone. They were neither in full opposition or they were also not in the government. And then after some few days, they reconciled. You remember the days that the former DP, Rigathi Gachagua, was starting to attack Matiang'i. And then after that, they reconciled, and then Jubilee went again and joined the opposition. What I can say is that it is a smart way that Junet Mohammed is trying to call out the Jubilee Party to join this other side, because he understands very well that if Jubilee comes on the side of the government, then they will not have it tough, or they will not have to put more pressure on fighting the opposition. So it is a smart way, of course, understanding very well how the politics of the Republic of Kenya is played, and is just a signal that is trying to remind those in opposition, and specifically the Jubilee, that they should come this other side. This other side, of course, is the side of broad-based, where he is advocating for. And again, if you've been listening to his remarks, he's always been attacking all those people who are, all those members within ODM who are not supporting the president, who are having a different opinion on the broad-based stand. Not once, but several times. He has attacked Sifuna. He has attacked James Orengo, amongst others. And, Junet Mohammed also understands that the environment where he is a member of parliament, without continuity of being a sycophant or a soldier to Raila Amolo Odinga, whom in his death is still popular. In his death, we are still seeing his political party having, his political party is still the most favorable. The most popular party in Kenya. That tells you that ODM is still a strong party within the Republic of Kenya. ODM is still a strong party within the Luo Nyanza regions, and whoever still continues supporting ODM might still have it easy getting the re-election. That is what I can say about the comments of Junet Mohammed.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Makobura, for your comment. But we have to look at it into deep, because what worries me, especially as somebody who has been following up the politics of ODM, and when Junet comes and say that this is a propaganda, the reason why I don't believe, or I have a point of departure with Miguda, even if it is responding to Rigathi Gachagua, it either answers some of the allegation that has been made earlier, so is responding towards that to make sure that that allegation was not true, or to confirm that, okay, we were trying to sell it, but now there's other people who are trying also to do the same, or other people who are trying us to work either with opposition, they don't want us to work with the government, and the other people who wants us to work with opposition. So that confirms that. So it confirms to me, that is what I think. It confirms, okay, people like Junet, Excellency Governor Wanga, maybe wants the people to work with the broad-based government, and there are people who do not want it. So for us to balance that equation, to know that these people are not good for us, they are also trying to bring in another person to buy or to associate with the party. Mr. Joseph, why do you think that Junet Mohammed is including the name of Uhuru Kenyatta as somebody who wants to, or somebody who brings the division in ODM? And if what Junet is saying so, what stake does President Uhuru Kenyatta have with ODM, or what interest does he have in ODM such that he can decide to make sure that these people are divided in opinion?
Thank you, Brother Nelson. I'll start with the comment of Junet Mohammed. It's very confusing because in ODM, you don't know who is the spokesman. It's a party who everybody speaks. You don't have a common person who always makes their brief or does what they say or what they do according to the party. Because if you have a party, I reckon you should be having one guy who is speaking on behalf of the party and the decisions of the party. But now ODM seems like a party which is dysfunctional from inside, where everybody can speak what he wants. So Junet trying to talk about Uhuru Kenyatta. That one he just knows is just a punching bag that cannot speak. Uhuru Kenyatta cannot respond to Junet Mohammed. So Junet can talk the way he wants because there will be no any maybe the only thing that can happen is maybe these leaders who are calling themselves United Opposition can try to retaliate. But for him, he knows that Uhuru Kenyatta cannot engage him because how many times have we seen Uhuru Kenyatta being dragged into these messes? And I think also it is, the problem I always see, people are seeing it like it's just on surface, but you can find even the UDA camp is trying now to tell the ODM now it is fighting time. So let us bring all the guns blazing. Let us try to fight all these people. And if you want to know it is the truth, it's when you have seen that Samuel Makaore can try to lecture a whole senator, not only a senator, he's the Secretary General of ODM as a party. I don't even know which position Makaore holds because I just know he's among the youth who are there who are brought in by the late Honorable Raila Odinga. But him lecturing a whole Secretary General who has been there, I think from since when he has become the Secretary General for now 2 times. So how are you going to come and lecture a full Secretary General of a party? And what is your career lifeline? What is your lifespan of your career that you can be able to lecture people? I expect people who are able to lecture people, they should be having, they have tried to stand for seats to be elected. They failed, or either they got the seat. But if you look at Makaure, he has never even stand to be elected for any position in Kenya. So why can he lecture a full Secretary General? I think even if that post was good, that Sifuna will not. Sifuna has been trying not to talk about this young boy. Because me, I call him my young boy because he still has the attitude of adolescentship in himself. We hear adolescentship ends when you are done with teenagehood. When you are trying now to enter a youthship. So I think Sifuna is doing the right thing not to answer this guy, and he should try to avoid him. You will talk and you talk and you talk. Like last time, I remember he went and said that he's apologizing to Sifuna. Nobody had told him to apologize to him. He just saw Sifuna was not talking to him, and he was not talking about. He's trying to get mileage with Sifuna, and Sifuna is just like kijana huyu ninaelewa kile anajaribu kufanya. So and next time you see him, I think he's now even going to start talking about Babu Owino. I don't know if it will sit back with people who support Babu Owino because he has a very big following. So this guy is Junet for him, Junet, Junet is a banter guy. He talks. Junet talks. Even the statement that you have been told by Mark Obura there, calling himself a cow. He always has the banter in him. bringing ile kitu ya unisikia mpaka akisema jina ingine hapo, brother Benson, sitaki kutaja. Kuna jina ingine fulani amesema hapo, na si jina mzuri, siwezi taja hapa kwa nini, na akasema ni ndogo sana, wacheni kuleta hizo vitu. Sitasema hiyo jina ndogo sana So I think in high octane politics, I think also I don't know, because Mark Miguda was with him today in Suna East. I don't know how he's seeing the politics of Suna, but I don't know. Maybe I'm feeling like he has also pressure from the Suna East party chief, because when you see other members, players started to enter in, and Raila Odinga is not there to back them as the way they have been backed. I see it having a problem. But for guys like Makaure, I cannot even give him my 2 cents, because that guy even has never been elected for any post. So he should not talk to people who have already done campaigns and already clinched seats, and others even lost.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Joseph, for your input. And to me, I'm looking at it quite much differently, because, like, as I always insisted, when such like statements are made, these statements are made for particular reason, and there's something that they want to achieve. And at the end of the day, this message at some point will target at Rigathi Gachagua, because in the next, the battle of ODM, one of the things that will feature so much in the battle of ODM, either side, those who want to auction the party to President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, the way some claims, or those who want to auction the party to President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. That is politics, but all these statements that are being made, they have a particular agenda, and they have what they are targeting, and the results might be there. Going forward, and this is what is going to happen.
Brother Benson, I forgot to say something.
Okay, go ahead.
Because you talked about Salah. I saw Salah talking today.
Yes.
He's an adopted son of Raila Odinga. And I saw him talking and saying that they were talking with Raila, and Raila had told him that Sifuna is a hypocrite. I think he was trying to say that he's a hypocrite. Now he wants to dismantle the party, he has been paid. So I really wonder, could Raila have talked to Saleh too much than the way he could have talked to Winnie? Because Winnie is the person who came with the story about auctioning of the party. You remember? Who came with the thing about ODM being auctioned? It is Winnie who came with it, and he said the party is being sold.
Yeah.
So I think because they are trying to hide their tracks, now they are trying to paint it like Sifuna is selling the party. How will Sifuna sell the party? How? Even does he even have power? You know where the power lies of selling the party, Brother Benson. How Sifuna will he sell the party, and he's just a secretary general? We have people who are CSs running the chess place.
Yeah.
They are saying in BBG. So I expect the people with power are the ones who are trying to sell the party. So that statement by Saleh, it's really very bad. It's not good, because you are trying to seem like you want to say things that maybe even Raila did not tell you, because I don't think Raila could have told him much of that. Then he could have not spoken to her daughter, her real biological daughter, and told her that decision. But he's telling an adopted son.
Yeah, and I agree. If at all Raila was not very happy with what Sifuna is doing, we've seen how the ODM has always dealt with those who are going against the party wishes. Look at how Magarer was handled. Look at how Ababu Namwamba was handled. I don't think like Sifuna had an exception or had a way out in which Raila would put a caveat on him and said, or not even caveat, but like put caution on Sifuna and say that we are marking you. And remember, even like when they were burying Ongondo Were, Raila said that Sifuna is speaking the position of the party. So for Salam, and this one should go. I'm not a member of ODM, and I would want to tell Miguda, because Miguda, you are the members of ODM. I don't think this is working well for you. Is what everything that is working out is not beneficial to ODM. How I wish that they could come and put their house in order and decide on where they want to go. because Joseph and Miguda Makobura, something is for sure here. A sure bet is here. The kind of presidency we will get, we will get a president that is as a result of coalition. That parties are coming together in Kenyan politics right now. There will not be a single party that will go to the election like a single party and win the presidency. It will not happen. So what can happen to ODM with all what they are telling us in the public? They should organize themselves. First of all, if they organize themselves, that is going to give them a better bargaining power because they're losing their value. Somebody who is gaining here about the wrangles that are happening in ODM, President William Ruto is gaining big time, because they're becoming more weaker and weaker and weaker. At the end of the day, you will find that ODM will break, and it will break.
But I think everybody is gaining because even opposition is gaining because everybody is gaining because if they are going to be broken up, Ruto is expected to get votes from Luo Nyanza. So if there is wrangles and nobody is giving them the way forward, I think everybody is getting a chunk. Yeah,
but if everybody is getting a chunk, who then benefits? The party is not going to benefit because remember, even the other day, a member of that particular party said that I'm going to run, but I'm not going to run for this particular party, and it's working against the ODM because for them, this is how politics of Kenya works, and I know they understand it. The politics of Kenya, it's not about who qualifies for what. When you go for the bargaining on the table, that is not what is being considered. What is being considered is about the regionalism, the strong base. Do you have a strong base? Then, if you have a strong base, that one will put you in a position to be given a good position. It's not about how smart you are. No. If it could have been an issue of being smart, then Rigathi Gachagua could have not been given a deputy president by President William Ruto. The reason why he was given that position, one, even though he was a mobilizer, yes, but first criteria for that, he was given that position because of the numbers that Mount Kenya was bringing. That's what qualified him to be given that position. That's why that position could not be given to Mudavadi. That's why Mudavadi was given 30% and Wetangula combined that we are going to give you 30%. And that is what is going to affect ODM. Because if they will be going on the bargaining table, it will back then, as we speak right now, what are you bringing on the table? And what are they going to bring? At the end of the day, with the things going, people like Sifuna might walk out, everybody might walk out, then ODM will remain a regional party whereby his strongest support base will be in Luo Nyanza. Yeah?
Yeah, those are the things you're supposed to be telling Miguda to take to the party.
So
because the people like the likes of Akina Otsotsi, if they are angry, and they become angry and they say they are being infringed, and they say we are going to walk out, and we are going to walk out with Mulembe.
Yeah.
Where is ODM being left at?
And if they walk out with Mulembe, this is what will happen. They can, because like in politics, there's no permanent enemy and permanent friend. All these people are friends and those people are enemy. They come together, they confront one of their own. I know Mudavadi does not have influence. They will say, okay, Mudavadi, this is where we want to go as a community. We want this and this. And you bring the numerical power. I tell you, President William Ruto will consider somebody with the numerical power than somebody without a numerical power, because that is how our politics work. So I think ODM should get their acts together, sit down and find the way forward. Even if they are going for a negotiation with President William Ruto on broad-based government, let them come together. Then they have a strong facts to bargain for their positions in whatever government they want to be, whether they want to work with opposition. But all these wrangles and cracks whereby the supremacy, they will lose at the end of the day. Maybe Miguda, what do you think? Because to me, I think what is happening, even if it is a propaganda or what, it's not working for them.
I got your point that whatever Junet said or whatever is happening is not working effectively for the party entirely. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But like I've said before, when I was instituting my first submission, that you find out that Raila is no more. We have ODM party. There is no consensus among the members of parliament. It's up to the structure, the functions, each and every person to make an argument to convince the other. Or people have decided, let us destroy ODM, but now they are preferring their interests. Like Junet. Junet is comfortably working with Ruto, is very much comfortable than working with the opposition. There are some people like Sifuna and Babu are very much comfortable working with the opposition because of their positions and also their future ambitions. They are convenient with the opposition than with William Ruto. That's what the problem is, that now I cannot submit to your interest. I cannot submit to your interest. The Junet people say, we can't submit to your interest. You people, Babu and Sefuna say, we can also not submit to your interest. That's why I've said that we understand it's all wrong in the party. And people have now make it very clear that we are going to do it our way. I told you, I understand these people. We have been with them. Like I've told you, there are people who are about their seats, their interests. And when they support Ruto, they are going to be re-elected alongside William Ruto, if that is the case. But there's people also who, if they oppose William Ruto, they are going to be re-elected alongside the opposition candidate. That is the case here. So up to now, we can't say that they are working for the interest of the party or the people. All those individuals who are mentioning, they are working on about their own interests. There's no representation of the people. Of course, there are people who, when they communicate, they tend to speak the people's aspiration and people's opinion, but it all favors them and favors them. Like the issue of ODM was made on the street. It is not favoring people like Junet. But if you say ODM is made in the bedroom, it's favoring people like Wanga. That's what we're trying to argue here. So up to now, we have to distinct that it is all wrong, and right now there's no that authority from Raila Odinga. So the people who have been left behind to manage the situation, you only manage where it serves you well, but when it not serves you, don't. So people no longer care. They only care about their interests. I think that is how I want to put it, Brother Benson. I think I've put it in a better way.
Okay, thank you so much. And I will bring in Joseph as we wait for Makobura. And another thing that is, this thing now is showing us what is happening within ODM. It's now convincing us that as much as all these leaders, each and every time they keep on telling us on how they believe in the ideals and ideology of Raila Amolo Odinga and the party. So it tells me that none of these leaders really believed in ODM. The only person that they believed in was the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, and it means their allegiance was not to the party. Their allegiance was to the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, because if they believed in the party, there are structures of the party and the mechanism that can deal with what we call, they might call it democracy, you know. And when there is such like divided opinion on a party, you need to come and go to the party structures. What does the party say? We have the NEC, we have the people who are running the party. Why can't they call their house in order and say that, okay, come here, let's discuss about what is happening. So from the look of things, each and every person has, maybe all of them feel that they are the real owners of the party. That, okay, I have to speak this, I have to speak this. At the end of the day, when you look at the Kenyan politics, Mr. Joseph, what gives you a better bargaining power? What gives you a better bargaining power before you get even those positions that you want is how strong are you as a political party, you know? And if they are not very keen enough, that is what going to make them in the next coming general election. They are not going to be very like a party to think of when you want to even to do something in parliament or pass a bill or you want to impeach somebody. Remember, impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua was only successful because the ODM came in. Without the ODM coming into the board, the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua could have not taken place, because raising that 2/3 majority member in a parliament, it is not very easy to do that until the ODM member came in. And when they came in, what happened? You cannot just come in for free, Joseph. You're being told, okay, now let's come and work together. What are you giving me in return? And the reason why you're putting that conditionality is because they know what you can offer and they know how strong you are. So somebody will have to say, okay, I'm doing this for you, but in return, you have to give me this. But if you go as a weaker political party, I tell you, if DCP becomes the stronger political party, there's nothing wrong. You will find President William Ruto can even work with Rigathi Gachagua, because what is it? What is there is, what am I getting in return if you want me to support you? Because it's all about interest. So that is what I think can happen. So I think they should find a way of how mending fences amongst themselves and going forward. But if not, I tell you, ODM is not going to be a stronger party as they say, even though with all the TIFA reports that is coming out. Mr. Joseph, what do you think?
Yes, Brother Benson, you know, we have so many educated people like the likes of Akina Miguda, but ODM is lacking the brain cells of now. I don't know what's the issue, because you cannot be that all these things are happening. And just the other day we were given what do we call him? The party leader. So I think party leader was supposed to be falling in the shoes of Raila Odinga. And even though he was not supposed to fill the shoes of Raila Odinga, he was supposed to kind of have that sense of what Raila Odinga was. Because I don't think that if Raila Odinga could have been alive today, the party could be in these wrangles. You could be having some kind of sense of stability in the party. Then what makes me again come to wonder, Raila Odinga said that his close confidant was his brother, Uhuru Odinga. And he said that Uhuru Odinga helped him in making so many of the decisions that he made in his political life. So I'm clearly wondering what is happening, because I expect a place where Uhuru Odinga could be very strong as now and trying to show the way forward to this. You know, all of them, they are young, Brother Benson. Nobody there is older than Uhuru.
Yeah.
Who is older than Uhuru in that party? Nobody. So I think they were supposed to be hearing what, and I know in the Luo culture, most of the people like to listen to their elders.
Yeah.
So I'm clearly in shock, because what is the party leader saying? Because you cannot be just say you are there, people are fighting left, right, and center. Are you willing to save ODM, or is it true the way we have been told it is being shared and it is being sold? Because if he was very serious with saving ODM, we could be seeing him talking right now and saying, no, this party has organs and has ways of dealing with disputes. Because I can hear everybody, some quarters saying Sifuna should go, others saying Sifuna is saying the truth. So we have a mediation we have what do you call it? Is it the NEC? The NEC is in charge of all these things. Why don't they use the NEC to be able to do their own disciplinary actions against these members? So as for ODM, I think it's not even as the way we are looking at it, that breakup or what. I think ODM has been just made as a money tool to be able to bring money and political influence in the arena. I think they are still using it as the vehicle to be able to bargain for these seats. Some of them, they are bargaining for their seats. Some of them, they are bargaining for their power. Some of them, they are bargaining for their for them to get re-elected in the next election. You know, some of them are CSs. You know, it is very shocking hearing a person like the likes of CS saying that I'm a live ODM member and I'll continue being an ODM member. You wonder, you are a CS, for heaven's sake. Your work is not to be a party. You're not in a party. You're a CS of Kenya. You are not supposed to be in any party. You are supposed to resign from a party. So you're still saying us that you're a party member. that means it's the first disqualification of you to become a CS. You're still engaging yourself in politics. So when I see about these cases, you will clearly see where it's headed, Brother Benson. It's clearly headed for a split, and there is two split which are going to happen.
I wanted to add something.
I'll
Okay,
finish.
I wanted to add something on what Joseph has said. And I think the problem that ODM is currently facing is that Raila was a leader, I don't know even how to describe him. He was somebody who had quite a lot in matters of leadership. He had the best way of handling things. And then the kind of politics that he played was one of those that there is nobody who can match it. And that is what is lacking currently in ODM. They lack a leader who has the capabilities that Raila had. And one thing I can tell you here for free is that ODM is going to die, and it has started dying, and it is going, all these people you are seeing giving their views, it is either those who are on broad-based, are the ones who are going to remain in ODM, or it is those who are fighting or who are saying that broad-based is not the right thing for them. They might be the only people who are going to remain. So ODM, in short, it's going to be divided into two. If the people who are pro-opposition, or the likes of Sifuna, Babu, Orengo, and or Sotsi and the rest, if they decide to remain with ODM, I can tell you the likes of Junet and those who are supporting the president are going to work so hard to ensure that they finish ODM. Either way, if those on the government side or those supporting the broad-based, they also, they remain with ODM, these other people are also going to leave to another party and they will fight ODM. And then something else that I've noted that I wanted to also give my point on the issue of Junet. I think to some extent the accusations might be true, because the president, not once but several times, he has always said and even told the people of ODM that they have to put their house in order. And not once, several times, he has even offered to come and somehow give support if the party needs. What does that tell you? He is, of course, if ODM is being bought, then I can tell you the president is also interested in buying ODM. And those who can sell ODM to him are the likes of Junet, and those people who are supporting him, the likes of Governor Wanga, and the ones who are supporting the broad-based. On the other hand, those on the opposition side, if Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is being accused to maybe wanting or has the mind of buying ODM, it might be true as well. If you remember, after the death of Raila Amolo Odinga, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was in Bondo. Then after the burial, he didn't leave back. He didn't leave the place. The following day, he was there. And he was, of course, with the brother of Raila Amolo Odinga, who is currently the party leader.
Yeah.
And the wife of Raila Amolo Odinga. The only question we could be asking is, what is it that they talked about? Why is it that he remained? That, of course, has a political weight, and it is something that we also have to accept, that there are possibilities that he might have also offered to support ODM, and supporting ODM would then mean that he has some good intentions with ODM, and even if it is a matter of buying, he has the capability of even buying the party. That is one thing that we also have to agree. And of course, he might get support from the likes of James Orengo and those other people. Not once, but several times. You've ever heard of James Orengo coming out to say that this government this broad-based is not it's not as good as the government that they were supporting the other time, the Uhuru government. You've ever heard him saying that? And the only question we can then ask is, why is it that as much as Uhuru's government never gave cabinet secretary to the ODM, but Orengo still says that it was even better than the broad-based? All those are clarification, but in politics, rumors are possible. Anything that you hear politicians saying, it is something that is already discussed, and there are possibilities of it. In similar ways, we've always seen political leaders coming against, even insulting or having, a bitter political disagreements. But at the end, they look at what is possible for them, what can work for them, and that is why we've always seen even enemies of enemies are even turning to be political friends. That is what I wanted to add on top of what Joseph said.
Brother Benson.
Yes, sir.
As I'm adding on what Marco Bura said,
Mm-hmm.
what were the happenings of the week that took place this week? Because that is where we are going to pick it up from. Because the happenings of this week is the one which is going to give us the whole picture of why Junet talked the way he talked today. I think it was today. If you are following the news, yesterday, if you are following the news,
Yeah.
there was
Go ahead.
there was a big fight between Ruto and Mamageno about a land, about 2,000 acres. Did you see that story?
In Taita Taveta.
Yes. So this is not all about everything you are seeing in the picture. Everything is in politics is always, you are told there is two constants in politics. And I believe with the person who said that. It's always about interest and betrayal. So the interest is coming well in Ruto trying to safeguard himself as how he's going to try to take that party to take that land in Taita Taveta. And anytime you are going to hear
But like
there is a case between Ruto and Uhuru.
From the look of things, I think that land, there was a part that he bought. I don't know whether he bought or he was given.
Yeah, we are saying that he is taking away the land. He's taking away the land from them. That is what is being said. That he's trying to steal the land from them, the 2,000 acres. And not only Mamangena. You know, there is another person who is there. It's not only Mamangena. So I was trying to say, even if he bought or he did not buy, Brother Benson, the real reason is anytime that you're going to see this family and Ruto going head to head, what always happens? There is always one thing that happens. He always unleashes his people to attack Uhuru Kenyatta. And this has been seen so many times. Even the time when he raided the son of Uhuru Kenyatta, Jomo, you remember the politicians from the mountain, the mountaineers MPs, they tried to abuse Uhuru Kenyatta at that time and saying that he's drunk and he came to TV while he was drunk. You remember? So I think, and even before they raided the Northland farm, and they had raided Spectra, the Raila former, the late Raila Odinga's company factory, they started with those abusing, this kind of politics. Yeah, we are going to do. Watu wamekuwa wakitusumbua, they are the ones who are financing Gen Z. You remember that thing? It was all about they are the ones who are financing the 2023 Sufuria movement. You remember? There was a movement called the Sufuria movement. They started saying that Uhuru and Raila, they are the ones who are organizing goons to be able to damage the Nairobi CBD. So I expect this thing has more to do with interest. That's why Ruto sent Junet to be able to attack Uhuru Kenyatta, because they are going at it at a showdown about land. And Uhuru is going to retaliate by, who does not talk back to them. What he's going to do is going to retaliate with one thing, and which he knows, which is he's going to broaden the united opposition. You see, the united opposition now is going to be able to be financed well by Uhuru Kenyatta. One thing, why I asked you about the happenings of the week. What else happened in that week? We saw Uhuru Kenyatta going to grace a graduation of Kabarak. And who was involved there? We saw the like of Gideon Moy, who was there. And if you take those, there is nothing that is done. Everything in politics is not done just like that. There is always a calculated move. And I saw a calculated move of where there's some time I came here and talked about Aida, and I said that Aida still holds a very memorable place for Uhuru Kenyatta in the Raila Odinga's friendship with him. And that's why even as Mark has talked about the way Uhuru was left in Bondo, and he stayed there quite a while with the family. So those things were discussed. And that's why you see the family is pulling in a different direction. If I ask you, Brother Benson, where do you think the family is pulling at? Because only Salah, who has been talking differently from the family, except Oburu Odinga. Have you had any other member of the family supporting this, what you are saying, broad-based government? I've not heard. Even if it is Raila Jr., or it is Winnie, or it is Ruth. I've not heard them talking. If even the sister to Raila Odinga, I've not heard them talking about broad-based very well. But you could hear the likes of Akina Junet, because they are the ones who have been used in this caliber by Ruto. But I can also say that Uhuru Kenyatta also is playing politics of inside, of trying to galvanize how ODM is going to come out of this broad-based arrangement. And that is what is happening, Brother Benson. I think if we are going to take the noting of the week, you're going to understand what I'm trying to say.
Okay, thank you so much. And maybe just to bring...
Allow me to just add one, please.
Okay.
A good friend Joseph has reminded me of something. That's a good analysis, Joseph, and it's a good you did. I mean, whatever you've said it might be true. And then something else that I've always noted in this political limelight is, if you see the family of Kenyatta, the family of Odinga, the family of Moi, as much as politics come, as much as they've always maybe found themselves in different political sides, one thing that we have noted is that there's some love or relationship that they share. And I think that is why this issue of dynasty thing has always been given or listed. I mean, them listed as one. And these families, from my own assessment, and you can also assert to that, is that as much as they've had issues, they've always stood together. They've always come for one another. They've always been there for one another. And most of the time, of late, they've not been fighting one another. And they've always come out to gang against anybody who is trying to attack these particular families. If you remember what was happening to Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, is shamba lake wakati ilikuwa watu walikuwa naiba. You remember the hard stance that Raila gave, that it is not right. You remember Gideon Moi doing the same. And whenever Raila was also attacked, Uhuru would come out to give his take. And then something else is that the many times that they've given their views, not once, just the other day when Raila was being buried, Uhuru narrated how close they've been. Aburu Odinga has been narrating many times that the Kenyatta family has always been together with them. So all these things, we might not understand the politics that is being played over here. But again, Ruto is also has joined. The fact of the matter is that he has joined the dynasties and is now amongst them.
Mm-hmm.
But the politics that is being played currently is that whenever Ruto is finding it tough, he has always had people if not close allies, then the people on the opposite sides attacking or giving their views, of course, that are all geared towards attacking their opponents. If you hear that Uhuru Muigai is interested in ODM, there is that possibility. And I can tell you it is very much possible. It is possible based on, of course, I've also done my analysis based on the happenings. on the same way good friend Joseph here was giving his narrative, and some of it, of course, I did share. The close relationship that is shared between these families can tell you Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta would do what he is able to do to ensure that he support ODM, or to ensure that ODM prospers, or to ensure that ODM continue existing, and that he'll do based on, of course, the relationship that he had with Raila Amolo Odinga. And partly that can be explained with, him just not leaving after the burial. He was seen there. And the only thing that we are supposed to ask is, why did he not go? Normally, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is not that person who would stay somewhere for long, based on what we've always seen. But why did he sleep in that particular place? What kind of meetings or what kind of discussions did he have? Of course, most of them was ensuring that the legacy of Raila Amolo Odinga is legacy. Part of it is ODM. ODM is a legacy that Raila Amolo Odinga has left
Makobura,
behind. Yes.
let me just have a point of departure with you, or especially when it comes to Uhuru Kenyatta. If you look into how Uhuru Kenyatta has always been, Uhuru Kenyatta has been somebody who is very interactive, based from how he was brought up, even before he comes into politics. Remember, he was somebody who people would say, and there are so photos that we saw that were resurfacing on the internet about him, Mambo ya Uji. So Uhuru Kenyatta, even if you listen to people who are close to him, or when he loses somebody who is very close to him and he starts to give those stories, it will give you a picture of a person that really, really cherish the friendship. If you look at the friendship between Raila and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, politically they've had differences, but behind the curtains, these people have been friends. Look at even when they are families are having what we call weddings, you will see Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta being here. So just to go into what happened in Bondo, and what Uhuru Kenyatta did really surprised so many politicians. And because of that, we saw so many politicians who are returning to Bondo, because nobody expected that Uhuru Kenyatta was going to stay or an overnight in Bondo. And if you look at even during the burial, especially when people invaded the burial site, the family of the Raila Amolo Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, they had to be evacuated by the police for the security agencies, because like so many people were coming, So it never gave that Uhuru time to mourn his friend or to say goodbye to his friend. That is one. Remember, even when Magoa was being buried, Uhuru Kenyatta came out and still insisted that Raila Odinga is his friend. So it tells you the kind of a person he is, especially when it comes to friendship. You cannot kind of like compare the interactive or social interaction of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta with President Uhuru Kenyatta, even with Kalonzo Musyoka. The one for Uhuru Kenyatta goes beyond these politicians. That is one. There's also something that Uhuru Kenyatta has that so few politicians have it, is about acceptability with the people, whereby everybody would want to listen and everybody would want to know how Uhuru Kenyatta wants to, what is he going to do. The connectivity, it has that natural connection with the people. It comes naturally. So I think by him staying behind would tell the ties that they have. Remember, Uhuru Kenyatta is the person who wanted to break the bond. If you look at it politically, you know what happens between the Jaramogi and the Uhuru, the Kenyattas. And here comes Uhuru Kenyatta, who supported Raila and wanted to hand over power to him, So it tells you about them cherishing their friendship. The other day you hear about Ruth Odinga talking about how they used to play with the likes of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. These people are friends from childhood, remember?
Yeah, and that friendship, that is what I'm trying to talk about. And I'm saying that he's a guy, just like you've said, somebody who values friendship. And out of that friendship, I'm quite sure that Raila Amolo Odinga left a legacy. part of that legacy, if you listened even to the politicians while they were giving the last remarks, they did say that part of his legacy is the ODM party that has been left behind. And I did mention here that if ODM is going to die, or somebody wants to buy ODM, or any help is needed from anybody who can assist ODM, I'm saying that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta would be the first person to offer that help. And it seems he was kind of offering that help. And that is when now a group of politicians are then saying that he was buying this particular party.
Okay. All right. Before I invite in Miguda, so that Miguda and Msimamo, or not Miguda, I'll invite in Miguda, then Msimamo can also give his thought, then Joseph will come. There's something here that we are tending to forget about ODM. And ODM, I would say, is nothing without Raila, even though we say that ODM was formed on the street. But somebody who has built that party is Raila Amolo Odinga. And that is somebody that people loved more than the party. And I usually say the population or the voters that people are fighting over by selling, you can sell ODM, but will you sell the people that really love the ideology of Raila Amolo Odinga? That is the question whereby I'm going to. That power rests kat Kangoka Jaramogi, and nobody is going to take that. Nobody is going to take that power away. Until that time, so many people will understand that. The only thing that is going to happen during this election that is coming, the purchasing power is going to be a key in this political, And to those who are lovers of Raila, some of them will lean toward Kalonzo. You cannot buy them. They are people. They are people who really, without even with President William Ruto giving Raila state burial, President William Ruto naming Talanta Stadium, naming it after Raila, or even naming JKI, like Kisumu International Airport after Raila. There are those who will go with that. But there's also those majority that has also history with President William Ruto, especially when it comes to Luo politics. Yeah, I can remember when people went on the street, especially in 2013, when majority of the community lost their lives. I can remember when President William Ruto was interviewed in one of the international TV stations. You know what he said about the people of Kondele. That is something that is documented. That is one. Come again to the 2023, the Sufuria movement. We saw what happened, especially when young people, some of them were taken, they were not even protesting, but they were taken off their homes and they were beaten in Nyalenda. That is where I grew, where majority of my life was. Some of them who went through that, some of them are people that we interacted with and we grew up with them in Nyalenda there. So as much as we might say that there are people who might not, and remember also that the people of ODM, and this is something that I'm telling you, the leaders of ODM, majority of leaders of ODM do not believe, they do not have something that they stand for. And that one brings you to what our political parties, what do we have a political parties? Our political parties are individualized. They are people's property. So if at all ODM or other this political party had something that they stood for, that this is what defines us amongst all these political parties, even with the absence of the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, those decisions, that they usually stand for, they could still be within their rims or within the ODM, and they could be practicing it like today. But what we are seeing, it tells you what is happening, that what drives all these politicians so that they can have different ideology and different views. It's about the personal. They tend to think more of themselves than the people they lead. But they will always do something to tell you how good they are. For instance, let's talk about even the issue of, let us just be real, let us not sugarcoat anything. Makobura, you are coming from the lake, Miguda is coming from the lake, Joseph is coming from the mountain, our good Msimamo is coming from the coastal region. Ever since Badi, Opio, and I, and all that they say that in government, what have you benefited personally as somebody who is coming from the lake?
Okay, let me go first, Brother Benson, kindly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have asked a very difficult question before I respond that one. That when you how are you going to buy the people? How are you going to take the people out of the ODM to Ruto? That's why I was saying, even if you purchase people like Junet, other people, but Junet will not take everybody to Ruto. It must be, and remember there are people, you understand where we are coming from. Those people, their work is not that easy. And for you to persuade them, you must do uh, due diligence. So since these people were nominated to be the CS, I can say that no much effect the people have seen or the people have felt. Even today, Christmas is on, but we haven't felt any goodies from the government. We are only used to our usual tradition activities in the region. I just want to say that even if the issue of power, that some people think that individuals, same issue individual, think that they also can command the people or can command. You know, right now, look at the way Karole Mundi was speaking. People don't care. People only respected Raila and feared Raila. In the absence of Raila, no one is going to tell us anything, my friend. Let me tell you, because people like Karole Mundi are very unequivocal that if they can't get to Bunge through ODM, they will use other alternatives to go to Bunge. You could not dare such words when Raila was alive. Babu said the other day that even him, he want to be the party leader. You could not dare such words when Babu was alive. So it's high time these people move on. They should move on. Baba died, whom we respected. That power is resting at Kanka Jaramogi. That power is not with the Buru. That power is not with the Osifona. The power is not with anybody. So it's high time they move on and realize that if they cannot connect with the people, you know, people might end up voting for Ruto, but not them. You might end up voting for a governor, but not an MP. So this issue, whereby they want to, some people pretend that they are now, but even when Raila was alive, they were not strong, they were not vocal, they were not controversial. So all of a sudden, you just happen to be controversial. You are the person giving people direction. Who told you? What must be understood? Baba was respected. Baba died, and people no longer care because the person whom they owe much loyalty, the person whom they owe utmost loyalty is no more. So it's high time our leaders should move on and ensure that they allow people. And this pretense, whereby they want to pretend to the people that, oh, maybe they are speaking the voice of the people, that is not correct. Mark, back to you. And also, I'm leaving, I told you I'm outdoor and I want to engage other friends somewhere. So we will meet tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be here full time. It's just today I'm not going to be here. And I want to say my final remarks. Marco Boda, see you tomorrow. Joseph, my good friend. Joseph, the future is luminous. We will work together. Don't worry. We are working out some things. And by God's grace, we are going to have a very beautiful country with the hands of gods and the people. So let us preach unity as a people of Kenya. Let us preach also togetherness, inclusivity, and also we should promote democracy, social justice. We should fight for the human rights. We should ensure that we live in peace, harmony, and also remember that one Kenya, one indivisible Kenya for all of us. See you next time. Shaima Hussein, thank you for coming to the show. Douglas Kibogong, Judith Karita, Nyanu, and many other people. Bye-bye.
Brother Mikuda, before you go, I wanted to ask a question. You have left me. We have not seen each other. I missed you, my brother. I wanted to ask you, what is Suna people saying? No, you said you're in Suna. What are
Yeah,
Suna is people saying?
and you know, in Suna, that's why today I'm outdoor and we are engaging a lot of friends. I've told you that Junet is around. Junet has been here for 4 days. You know, when sometimes we say these things, people think that we are just speaking, but Marco would understand what I'm saying. You know, when I was telling you that Junet was, before Junet became MP or mayor, we were there, but we were young. We used to see him somewhere in a certain shop. So it was just celebrated all of us. So we know we saw him hustling. We saw him coming up. That's why I say by the time he was hustling and coming up, the life we were living was better off than the one he was living. That's what I'm trying to explain here. That you were better off compared to Junet at his moment or when he was rising. So right now, even when he's around, he can come, but today he has not come. But usually comes to the where we are residing, and also sometimes we have some internal differences. But that's what I'm saying. When he's around, I'm likely to meet him. That's why I was telling you, don't kill somebody or don't because of politics. These people do meet. Like you saw me. Me, I'm a critic of Junet. We have been here. Me, I do criticize him, but holidays sometimes you can link up. But it does not. It cannot do anything because he understands that's politics. And I've told that Sunais is doing quite good. I want to report to you, and the president will come here on Saturday. He's the chief guest for that tournament, and maybe we might go or we might not go depending on our schedule. But even if we go, there's nothing wrong even if you meet Ruto because, and that's what we have been telling people here. Even if you are doing politics, politics is not about arresting people, killing people. Those people who have been arresting people, abducting people, stop those nonsense. These people compete. Don't decide on your own. You are abducting people. Even if someone directed you, those are past. They're primitive politics. We should not play. We should be in the 21st century and also play modern politics. So Joseph Kariuki, we are doing good, and the environment is calm. There's no rain, and hopefully that we will meet next time. And we will even chat via WhatsApp. So that's enough for today.
Thank you, brother. And uambie mheshimiwa atoe kitu bwana. Even Ruto when he come aache Christmas. We
Nataka kumwacha pa.
must meet the president bwana. We must meet even if I
Mheshimiwa,
meet with him today, lazima aniachie ka kitu. Kuna
wacha
kumcheka
nikwambie kitu
chekesha.
moja na mheshimiwa. Mheshimiwa ni mtu mwingine, wanafanana wote. Akikuona anaona tu unafanana na 1,000. Alafu akikuona, most of people here, the level of lifestyle they are living below, they are not doing well in terms of life. So what they are doing, anawapatia rice, beans, unga, oil and sugar na 1,000. So that is not enough. So I can just say they are just the same, all these mheshimiwa. So don't expect that if I meet him, he'll give me something. I don't depend on them. I just pray to God. The little I have, I'm contented.
You have said you are dynasty. We appreciate.
Yeah, I'm dynasty. I don't need their money. I don't need politicians' money to eat. I can eat without their money.
Okay, brother. Thank you so much. A nice time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Miguda. And Joseph, labda wewe pia utuambie tangu the ODM team waingie kwa serikali, have you maybe seen any change in terms of the betterment of the services that we get from the government? Have you seen any positive thing as that you've experienced at a personal level, whether whether in spending, whether in terms of development or anything?
Thank you, brother Marco Bura. I actually, that is a very good question, and I've never been asked that kind of question, and it's a very good question. But the problem is, we cannot get a clear picture because Ruto runs these ministries. Ruto tends to run all the ministries. You heard him even saying that anajua ministry vizuri mpaka kuliko vile wa CSS wanajua ministries. So it's not very clear how the ministries are being run, because I feel he's touching every, we had a presidentship where you had the president was not talking, and the ministers were the ones who were implementing the government programs. You saw them, the likes of akina Magoha, you could see them. Magoha hakuna siku ulisikia Uhuru akiingilia mambo ya education, ama there is a day you saw Uhuru coming and talking on behalf of education. There is no day you saw Uhuru interfering with the Mwangi, who was roads, that is saying that this road, even right now is the president who is saying the road they are going to build from here to here to here. He knows the kind of money that teachers are going to be added, the kind of capitation that is going to be done. He knows about fertilizer, how it's going to be distributed. At that time we had a place where these CSS were given freeway to be able to do their work in the way, in the manner they so befitting, but as long as it is going to bring results. So I cannot tell you clearly, but in terms of if an MP is going to I see Msimamo. Will you give Msimamo a chance?
Yes. Msimamo, you can give your take. Final remarks. Thank you so much before you leave.
Asante, poleni jamani, najua nimekatisha utamu hapo kwa wale wanatufuatilia, lakini ni vile mtu najua unaambiwa mficha uchi yazai, lakini vile vile pia mficha ugonjwa usemwa na kilio. So nisije nikasemwa na kilio hapa, nimeishia hewani na sijafanya my closing remarks, itakuwa sitija. Kwa hiyo niombe tu hii nafasi kwa unyenyekevu. Yangu ni machache. Najua ODM mimi ninasikia uchungu, yani nikikaa nasikia uchungu fulani kwenye hiki chama. Hivi rafiki wa kweli ni nani? Ni Kalonzo ambaye ameweza kusupport mara 4 ama mara 3, au ni Uhuru ambaye alijaribu kila awezavyo kuona kwamba baba haswa ambaye ndio kiongozi wa ODM amepata kuweza kuhakikisha miongoza hili taifa, au ni huyu aliyompa baba state funeral baada ya kwamba yameumana na kona hapo kwa kukimbilia mwenye sauti pekee ni baba. Wacha tumkimbilia hapo tuone kama za nusu, na kweli jahazi likanusurika, lakini mwisho wa siku baba ndio huyo ameenda kwa state funeral. Nao kimebaki chama nao makundi mawili, wengine wanasema wengine wanasema sisi tuliachwa hapa. Jamani, hapa nani anafanywa kanga mwenye chongo ili afunkulie wenye macho? Hilo ndio swali la kujiuliza. Nani anafanywa kanga mwenye chongo, akifukua tu anafukulia wenye macho? Kwangu mimi naona bila shaka ni mwananchi mkereketwa, mpenzi, haswa yule wa Luo Nyanza. Na kama chama kitaelekezwa huko Luo Nyanza, waone kwamba sisi ndio wenye hiki chama, na sisi kupanda tutasema haya, bakini na chama chenu. Je, kitakuwaje? Kitakuwa na mashiko ambacho baba ameweza kukiacha nacho? Kwa maana wao wanaoleta broad based government tumeachwa hapa ndani ya broad based government, nguvu yao na kinga yao na ukuta ni kwenu nyie Waluo Nyanza. Je, mtakubali kufanywa kanga wenye chongo mfukulie wenye macho? Kwa hiyo lazima mpime maneno ya viongozi wale, wanamaanisha, kwa sababu mwisho wa siku ngano wanapiga kelele lakini wanajua uongo, hawawezi vai hata MCA sasa hivi kwa ngazi ambazo wako nazo na nyadhifa ambazo wamepewa. Itakuwa ni si jambo la tija kurudi tena kutafutana na ubunge, kutafutana na UMCA mfano, na umekuwa waziri. So it's kwamba ukuta ili watimize malengo na kuhakikisha kwamba wametengeneza mapeni. Ninyi watu wa Nyanza ambao wamefungwa hapo katikati, je, mtakubali kufukaa kanga wenye chongo kufukula wenye macho? Kwa sababu kila ilivyo usuhuri wa mtu kupima pale mwanzo wake. Kama mwanzo ulikuwa mbaya, basi akileta uzuri una jambo la una maswali. Huo uzuri ni uzuri wa kweli au ni uzuri kwa sababu kuna mtu hapa anatafuta kiki? Kama huyu hakuwa ananipenda tangia awali, itakuwaje sasa hivi nikurubia haswa kama rafiki wa kweli? Jamani, tuangalie kwamba kuna rafiki, lakini pia vile vile kuna rafiki mnafiki. Mimi nitafunga kwa hapo jamani, watu wa Nyanza na ODM, kikuzeni chama kionekane katika hali ya utaifa. Simameni thabiti, tuone kwamba haswa Kwale bado kina hamu, Taita kina hamu, Kilifi kina hamu, Lamu kina hamu, Hola kina hamu, upanda hivyo mpaka kifikie Nyanza. Itategemea mlivyo kipika, lakini haya malumbano na mvutano, anayefungwa kamba hapa ni wewe mwananchi, na ndio ambao umewekwa ukuta wa kuweza kuwatetea wale wanaonia swafi ama wale wanakuja kwa urafiki wa leo tu, kwa kuweza kuja na matonge ya mkononi mkusalisha wa mvuleni. Maana hiyo ndio siasa tunaiona. Mtu anakupa mafuta kilo 2, unga kilo 5, 1000 juu, lakini kakupa tonge la mkononi. Ametajaribu kutengeneza na kununua ile trust yake kwako ili akatimize lake. Kumbuka hicho ambacho umekibeba lazima atakiregesha ile pindi amepata mamlaka. Kile ambacho umekibeba, kama ni 1000, kama ni unga, lakini mwisho wa siku mambo akituliwa, lengo likitimia, akipata zaidi, usimlaumu kumuuliza mbona naiba. Ni kile ambacho umekuchukua. Kwa hiyo mimi langu la mwisho kabisa ni kwamba Wakenya wote this time around tuangalie haya matonge ya mkononi, maana mwisho wa siku yatausaulisha wamvuleni. Alamsiki.
Safi sana ndugu yetu msimamo. Sina la kuongeza kwa hayo umenena ama umezungumza. Tunashukuru sana wakati wako na tunasema Merry Christmas. Joseph, utatupea maoni yako.
Yeah. I think Mzalendo has given his remarks. Even I forgot where I was. Sorry, I don't remember where I was. I was talking about. I forgot. I was talking about if they have been helping people or not. Let me tell you, Makobure, never expect or wait for politicians that have been made CSS to help you as a community. You need to work for yourself and do and seek developments. Let me ask you, Brother Mark, do you think Mount Kenya, because I'm going to talk about Mount Kenya also, do you think that cabinet secretary in Mount Kenya have done so much work than did Inyoro in his constituency? They can't.
I don't think so.
That guy has even that guy, you know, the school fees of Kiharu constituency students are paying 1,000 per term. So, and we are still in the same country with the same CS of education. So that's why I'm telling you, it's very hard to comprehend. At Uhuru time, I could say how somebody fared on. You could talk about Munya, you say how he fared on. You remember even the likes of Akina Kiunjuri, the guy who was saying that locust, I don't know, they are going to do what. You remember Kiunjuri? Then he was sacked. So you could see their brilliance in individualism, and some of them even flopped. The likes of Akina Amina Muhammad, some of them flopped when they were CSs, and Akina Echesa when they were sports CSs. So that's why that question is a very difficult and tough one, because I cannot clearly state. But as far as Ruto's government stability, those CSs helped in stability because Raila donated them and unajua kwa nini hawa jamaa wataki kuondokea ile mbafu my friend, it's not easy to let go power when you are CS and you are going with a flag and you have chase cars which are opening the way for you. Sijui kama Marco Buro kupata an instance where unaelkamiwa, wacha hata na chase cars kwa barabara, when you are being welcomed in a place you are famous of, watu wanakukaribisha mheshimiwa, you feel the way you feel. Now imagine this is a CS who is being given way akitoka Karen, ikiweko tu siren watu waone ni bendera, mnaondoa gari kuondoa mbio. So how do you expect that guy is going to lose power very easily? Sasa hii mambo inachanga kweli. That's why you continue
Kaka,
seeing them saying about
naomba niingilie hapo kidogo tu, samahani, niingilie hapo kidogo tu kwa faida ya wale wanatusikiliza. Hapa ndo tunafanya makosa sasa. Mtu anaingia power kwa kazi gani? Kwa ajili ya mwananchi ama kwa ajili yake binafsi ama kwa ajili ya yule rafiki aliyemleta pale? Vitu vitatu hivyo. Mtu anakuwa CS kwa ajili ya taifa, kwa sababu kama ni taifa limeinvolve mwananchi, na kama ni mwananchi ameinvolve tabaka yoyote, dini yoyote, kabila yoyote, kapewa hiyo mandate kwa ajili yake, au ni kwa ajili ya yeye mwenyewe binafsi na tumbo lake, kwa sababu anafurahikia haya unayozungumza, bendera na kupishwa na nini na heshima, marupurupu na kawaida na kadhalika, ama yuko kumpendeza mtu wake alompa hiyo nafasi husika. So tukigundua hayo maneno matatu, kama wananchi tutajua ni wapi ambapo tunafaa. Kwa hivyo kama mtu atatuweka gizani kwa ajili ya kutetea bendera yake, huyo mtu ni mnafiki. Kama kiongozi atapeleka kusiko na wananchi tunamwambia bwana, yeye mzigo huu kwenye mabega unatulemea, yeye bado anatetea bendera yake na ile marupurupu, hatufai ngo, huyo ndo alikuwa anasema ni rafiki mnafiki. So tupime maji na unga. Ni kweli hawa walioletwa waliweza kuleta hiyo jazba na wakapunguza kidogo munkari kwa nchi ilipokuwa imefikia, but let us ask ourselves, was it because of us as citizen, or it was to secure somebody for his political survival, if I'm not wrong? So kama walienda kwa kujaribu kumsaidia mtu, maana alikuwa na yumba kisiasa na siasa ilikuwa inampeleka kusiko, those si watu wa kwamba tuwaamini kwamba wakituambia tuko kwa broad based government na sisi pia tuende mazima huko kwa kuweza kusaulishwa kwa tonge la mkononi. Hata nikifanywa na sasa hivi vizuri, but lisisaulishe yale 10 ambayo ni mabaya niliyopita nayo. Tuliona Nyalendo na kadhalika, mambo alivyokuwa wakati ule, watu wakitubuliwa kwa manyumba haswa. Have we forgotten? It was under whose regime? If I may ask the question. You know, sometimes nawa crazy kiasi, napata uwazimu kiasi kufikiria hayo. Then mtu yule amekuja tena mrafiki. Sasa mimi I was the co-founder of ODM and I will not ODM go to the other side. I'll make sure by all means. Can we ask ourselves, by all means ni nini? Wachache wafaidi walete bugdha kwetu, watugawe kimitazamo, tuone kwamba tumepona, lakini mwisho wa siku tutarudi pale pale wakanga wenye chongo kule wazima. Asante bwana kwa kuninteract, lakini niona hilo niliweke wazi tu, maana msimamo nabaki kwenye msimamo, lakini na imani kwamba haki, taifa linaloheshimu haki, basi litakuwa na amani ya kudumu na upendo. Asante.
Brother Joseph, unayasikia hayo Kiswahili kwenyewe.
Naona msimamo amesimamia kwa msimamo wake. Hata mimi nitakuwa mhenga. Umeelewa hiyo uhenguzi? Msimamo amesimama tendeti kwa msimamo wake. Sina kitu la kusema. Siwezi ongezea kile msimamo amesema ama nipungue, kwa sababu amesema tu vile inafaa kuwa. Lakini sasa ile Kenya tunaishi, wewe waijua Marco Bura, vile mambo inafaa kuwa ikifanywa si hivyo inafanywa. Mambo inafanywa kinyume na kile kinafaa kuwa kikifanywa. And imeisha. Kenya imeingia kwa shida mingi sana kwa hiyo msimu, kwa sababu najua Kiswahili ni ngumu saa zingine kuelezea. Sasa wacha niongee na Kizungu kidogo. I was saying that Kenya has entered into a very big trap of we are dealing with ndio msimamo nitasimamia hapo tendeti kwa Kiingereza kidogo. Swahili chanitatiza kidogo. So I was saying that Kenya has been entered into a trap that we cannot be able to remove ourselves, because all institutions have become corruptible by the executive. We can see how the parliament is behaving. We can see how some of the judiciary men are behaving. We can see how some of the institutions are behaving, like the police, who are supposed to be independent. We have seen institutions like NCIC, who are supposed to be independent, behaving very weird and taking commands from the executive ship. We have seen even the political registrar, the registrar of the political parties. He works in a favoritism manner. The way he's going to be told by the executive to do, the person in power at that time, is what goes. But there is a bad president we are setting up as a country, because let me tell you, in the seeable future, we are going to have a case of a president who is going to be indicted because of criminal activities when he was a president. I'm telling you this, and it's going to happen, and one day you're going to come and ask me, kwani brother Joseph, ulikuwa unaona hapo mbele, unaona kwani kulikuwa kutakaaje? Because I'm telling you, it's very clear that the way they are continuing to do their works and their dealings at the country, and the way they are continuing, you saw the case of Waitito. Waitito amesukumwa bwana, sijui kama anaweza jitoa kwa hiyo shimo ameingia. And let me tell you, in the foreseeable future, there is going to come a generation which does not want jokes with their country. Brother Mark, niliona mkianza vuguvugu fulani hapo, and it was a very good, very, I've never seen a meticulous movement that was very flawless in Kenya. I've never seen that one. Maybe the Orengo ones when they were fighting for multi-party, but this one was flawless. Ilikuwa, I wish that thing, I wish it could have sparked till the end, because it pains me till now, because that thing was tribeless. That thing was dealing with the situations of the country. That thing was dealing with corruptible people, with corruption. Let me tell you, in the foreseeable future tutaweza ongea mambo mingi, lakini nakwambia kuna mtu atakuwa tu rais hapo na atapelekwa jela akiwa na hiyo miaka 63, 65, na itabidi amalizie kifungo yake yote ya maisha yake huko kwa jela huko, and he will die in those prisons, because the way they are managing the country, it's like it's becoming their own homesteads, and it's coming very soon. This generation, because you cannot even I'm telling you, even the likes, not even in Kenya, even the neighbors that we have there, it's coming very soon, and you will see the next future leaders, the next ones, it's you, Akina Mark, and other young people, because they're the ones who are going to take this mantle. These young guys are going. Hakuna siku tutakuwa tukiambia kuhusu party youth leader. They are about to retire from politics, and I'm telling you, this one will be a definer. You see 2027, it will be a milestone, a step, a one step. Unajua hata kutembea uanzagi kuruka ati ukitaka kutoka hapa uende utembee pahali mpaka labda kwa duka. Huwezi enda ati umeruka kwa duka. You need to start with 1 step, then 2, then 3, like that. So the first step was taken when these guys, they formed this movement that they called the Gen Z, and they started to say their tribals and their and I think that is what is making even the Gen Z, I've even come to understand them. I think that is what is making them even not to go and vote or come out in large numbers to vote. I think what they are doing, and we'll see it, because I hear they are in their political circles, or not in their political circle, in their circles, they are planning for something big. We are going to see it, because I have heard some fununu kuna kitu wanapanga ya 2027, and we are going to see it. But I'm telling you, in the foreseeable future, Brother Benson, mkiwa na msimamo hapa na Mark, we are going to see a president who is going to be indicted and taken to court and later taken to jail very soon, very soon.
Joseph, labda niongeze hapo kwa Joseph kabla kaka yangu Ben hapo naona amerudi. Lakini kuna mambo matatu tunafaa tujiulize. La kwanza, je, sisi wananchi tunajitambua nafasi yetu ni ipi? Na kama tutatambua kama wananchi nafasi yetu ni ipi, je, tunaitendea haki? Na kama hatuitendei haki, nini kikwazo? Kwa sababu pindi tutakapojielewa kwamba nafasi yetu ni ipi, basi mabadiliko ya kweli hatutayasubiria, tutayaendea. Nataka nieleweke vizuri hapo. Pindi tutajitambua sisi wananchi kwamba nafasi yetu ni ipi kikatiba, basi mabadiliko ya kweli katika hili taifa hatutasubiria tu yaje, tutayaendea. Na ni kwa jinsi gani tunayaendea? Nijibu swali la kaka yangu Benson la jana kwamba nitakupangia wakati wa no, not Benson but brother sorry, jina lako linanitoka kidogo, the host, kwamba nitakupangia msimamo siku yako uje tuwaambie mipango yenu. Nataka kujibu pia katika hili swali vile nalipeleka, pia nitajibu lile swali lako la jana ili nisibakishe hapa kilalo ama kiporo. Je, nafasi yetu tunaitambua, tunajitambua kikatiba, tumepewa nafasi gani? Na kama tutatambua hilo, tunawapimaje viongozi wetu? How do we measure hawa wanasiasa? Is it because of their track record, or ni kwa sababu ya tribal class, kwamba ni mtu wetu, hata kama jamani, fisi likujualo halikuli likakumaliza, ni mtu wa nyumbani. Hata kama ndio, lakini ni mtu wa nyumbani. Ama tunampima kiongozi kutokana na ile kazi ameweza kuifanya, na kama tutampima kwa kazi aliyoifanya, basi mabadiliko ya kweli tutayaendea. Tutajaribu kupima hawa viongozi, nani tukimshika mkono kama sisi wananchi anaweza tupeleka mahali pazuri. That's the time I decided myself to back up our party leader Martha Karua, kwa sababu niliangalia track record yake, nikaona ni mimi nimuendee, kwamba kama nitaweza kumpa MCAs kwa bunge la county, hawataweza kununuliwa kama njugu kutoka kwa minority ama kutoka kwa majority kuregeshwa kwa minority. Maana kiongozi wake ni mtu wa kuyumbayumba na tamaa. Hapo mabadiliko mimi kama msimamo nimeendea masabunge lile la county, kama mwananchi hapo nitajua sauti itakozungumzwa pale itakuwa ni ya kuniwakilisha. Kama nitampa wabunge pale bunge la kitaifa, basi miswada holela hii tulioishuhudia haitakuwa, kwa sababu mwenyewe yuko pale atataka atimize kwamba atapigana na corruption, atataka atimize katiba ifuatwe, na pia watu waheshimu sheria ili sheria ifeve wote, isionekane wale wako navyo wako juu ya sheria na wale hawana. Yani tuonekane yule anaiba kuku anafungwa maisha na yule anaiba mamilioni anatokwa na bondi. That's why walikuwa nasema mabadiliko lazima wananchi tujitambue kwanza. Tukijitambua tena mabadiliko tuyafuate. Nani wa kuweza kumshika mkono? That's why msimamo nilisamua kusimama na huyu mama, kwa sababu naamini hataweza kunichukulia wabunge wangu hapa wakajaze minority badala ya majority. Pili, hata kubali wabunge wapitishe kiole, kwa sababu ni kiongozi ambaye ni jasiri, ni kiongozi ambaye nimempima katika chaguzi yake masuala na ufisadi, lakini misimamo yake thabiti. So hilo ndio nataka kulileta hapa, kumkatiza huyu kaka kwamba lazima tujitambue sisi wenyewe kama wananchi, nafasi yetu ni ipi, na kama mambo haendi sawa ni nini tutakachokutudia kutoka, kwa sababu mabadiliko na hatima ya hili taifa liko kwenye mikono yetu. Kama tutakaa tusubiri wanasiasa watupangie kila mwaka, ndo hawa wanaogombana usiku mchana wanapatana. Kwa tusishangae ndoa ya Gachagua ikarudiana na Ruto. Wanasiasa ni wale wale, tumeona wale wanaogombana wanakaa meza moja na kucheka na kuform miungano. Jamani, kama wananchi nafasi yetu ni ipi? Je, tunajitambua kikatiba? Na kweli haya mabadiliko tutasubiri wanasiasa watuletee watupangie? Sisi tuko hapa na tuliachwa hapa na lazima tuwe hapa. Sauti zetu ni zipi kuweza kupangwana yale na kuweza kuchuja? Are we going back to our drawing board? Na tujiulize maswali hayo. Nisiwe mrefu wa maneno, unajua kwa tunasema ukiongea sana alafu natoka tija. Angalau niwape nafasi wenzangu. Asante.
Brother Ben, kama unanisikiza, you can also come in and give your views on what you think about the government, especially since the entrance of this batch of cabinet secretaries, whether there are positive changes or not. Can't hear you. Okay, thank you so much. I think Brother Ben is checking for his microphone. I can see Eric Ayaga here anasema anasimama na Demagog Martha. Eric hapa ana yake na mambo zake pia.
Mchana Eric, wewe ni ndugu yangu ambavuni, huwa tunagombana wewe hapa, lakini mwisho wa siku tunakaa meza moja tunazungumza kama watu, lakini kija hapa kila mtu anasimama kwake. Kwa hivyo hili najua ni dongo, ili analirusha angalau lakini anajua checheza msimamo. Mwambie aje studio, mkaribishe studio, tupambane hapa.
Mako bwana, unanisikiza?
Nakusikiza sasa, uko sawa.
Okay, labda nilikuwa na itilafu tu kidogo ya kipasa sauti, lakini mimi unajua ukiangazia nchi yetu ya Kenya, ni kosa ambayo mimi naona kwamba sisi wenyewe tunafanya kama nchi ni kwamba mwananchi na nchi yake bado wajajigundua hao wenyewe, bado wanatawaliwa na siasa ambazo hazina manufaa katika sana sana uongozi. Mara mingi unapata kwamba tukienda katika uchaguzi tunachagua watu ambao hawana, naweza sema kwamba hawana hadhi ya uongozi, lakini tunawachagua kwa msingi labda mfuko yao iko vizuri, ni watu ambao Mungu aliwabariki kifedha, ama ni watu ambao labda kuna kashfa kubwa sana ambao labda wamefanya. Wengi wao unapata kwamba wako na makashfa kubwa, alafu wanakuja kwa jamii zao wanasema hawa wanataka kumaliza kwa sababu mimi hichi na hichi. Unapata kwamba wananchi wake wanampigia kura. Hapo ndio sisi tunakosea. Hata tukizungumzia mambo ya demokrasia, unajua Kenya ni nchi ambao wengi sana wanajipiga kifua kwamba sisi wenyewe tumeendelea kidemokrasia. Wengi ya Wakenya, sisi tuko mbele ya kidemokrasia. Tunasema kwamba tuko mbele kuliko jirani zetu. Tunasema demokrasia yetu imekuwa demokrasia. Lakini kama demokrasia imekuwa na yale ambayo yanatendeka kwa hizo nchi ama katika hizo nchi za wandugu zetu ama nchi za jirani bado zinafanyika. Ukiangalia mambo ya utekaji nyara ipo katika hii demokrasia yenye ambayo nyinyi mnasema mmeendelea. Pia ukiangalia ufisadi bado ni ile. Bila ukiangalia vyama ambazo nyinyi mko nazo ni vyama ambazo za watu binafsi. Mimi siamini kwamba hizi vyama ambazo unaona zipo ni vyama ambazo ziko na demokrasia. Hapana, hizi vyama zina watu binafsi ambao wamewekeza pesa nyingi sana kwa hizo vyama. Ndio maana unaona huwezi kuwa na fikra mbadala ukienda na kinyume cha sheria ama kinyume na wazo la mwenye chama, utakuja kutimuliwa. Tunaona mara mingi hata kwa chama ambazo saizi tunaongelea, Ayaga atakuja hapa atakuja kutuambia demokrasia ya ODM na demokrasia. Hakuna kitu kama demokrasia, kwa sababu kama ingekuwa demokrasia, hizi malumbano ambao sisi tunaona hatungeona katika uongozi. Kwa sababu jambo la kwanza, serikali ama vyama ama chama, kitu cha kwanza ambacho chama kinakuwa katika mstari wake wa mbele ni kwamba lazima sisi tupate uongozi, tupate kuongoza ili tuonyeshe dunia ama tuonyeshe mwananchi na nchi yake kwamba sisi ndio wale wazuri. Lakini huwezi niambia kwamba yule mtu ambaye ulikuwa unampinga, ule mtu ambaye fikra na mawazo zako kisiasa zikuwa zinaendana, kwa siku moja kimebadilika, sasa mnaongelea kwa jambo moja. Alafu haikui kwa manufaa ya mwananchi, ukipata inakuwa kwa manufaa ya sehemu. Ndio maana unapata Yaga pia atakwambia, unapata kwamba malalamishi inatokea ama la malalamishi inasema kwamba katika serikali ambazo zimekuwepo katika Kenya, unapata kama eneo la Nyanza imekuwa kama eneo ambayo lilikuwa imetengwa, ni eneo ambayo haikuwa inapatiwa maendeleo kulingana na yale ambayo msimamo yao kisiasa. Lakini leo hii tunasema maendeleo itakuja kwa sababu wako kwa serikali. Lakini ukiangalia serikali si kweli, ukiangalia historia si kweli. Watu kutoka eneo la Nyanza tena maviongozi wao wamekuwa katika serikali. Lakini swali ni je, wakati ambapo walikuwa kwa serikali walifanyia watu wao nini? Kwa sababu ukiongea katika demokrasia inasemekana lazima watu waende wa uchaguzi na washindane kwa sababu ni demokrasia, na ukishachaguliwa inafaa ukuwe ni rais ya watu wote, wale ambao walikuchagua, wale ambao wakukuchagua. Ikifika kwa maendeleo, isikuwe tu mimi nikuwe kwa serikali ndio nipatiwe maendeleo. Hakuna. Na pia hatusifurahie kwamba tumeletewa serikali sasa sisi wote tupo katika serikali. Hapana. Unaweza kosa kukua katika serikali, lakini serikali imeweka miundombinu mzuri ambayo inafanya kila mwananchi wa kawaida anapata urahisi kulingana na maisha. Kwa sababu mimi nakuambia hata leo hii ambayo tunazungumza leo, hata Rais William Ruto kaamua akalete wale maviongozi wote kutoka eneo la jamii ya Waluo awaweke katika serikali, na hiyo ndio iseme kwamba serikali imekamilika. Kama hakuna miundombinu mzuri, kama hakuna, if there are no proper channels of service delivery, it doesn't matter who you bring into government. And something that we have to tell people, whether your uncle has been brought into government, does not reflect a good economy to you. Economy is not selective. Economy is universal, you know. And ever since, I did put that question to you here, ever since Badi, Opiyo Wandayi and all that, they came into government, if you go to Homa Bay today, especially areas, you go to Gwase, does it mean that all people of Gwase today had a very good Christmas like John Badi had a good Christmas? No. It is not true. When you go to Opiyo Wandai's place, no, it is not true. It's the same as even those who are from Mount Kenya. But what happens here is this: it doesn't matter who becomes the president. It doesn't matter if you have people who are qualified in those positions and people who have good policies. Then the same way somebody in rural part of South Nyanza or Bondo or where feeling good is the same way somebody in Turkana, they will, when it comes to paying off school fee, so the things that are very universal, so I don't buy this idea of mtu wetu wako kwa serikali sasa maendeleo itakuja. If we still think that way, then we have to agree that we are still not there. And it means that as a country, we still lack what we call good leadership because we are very selective. I know the politics are always is playing out. We will blame Rigathi Gachagua. We will blame President William Ruto. We will blame the ODM and the Wanga and all that. All these political players. That blame game will be there. But at the end of the day, what does it boils down to? It boils down to good governance that delivers services to people. And how do we get that? You're the people to choose. So Ayaga might disagree with me, but what I know, it doesn't matter who is in the government, who is not in the government. If we have qualified people, it will work.
One question. I can ask one question because you have put it very good and clearly. Yeah. Can I ask one question? I asked Brother Mark Obura here just the same question. If you are asked between a CS like Badi and Wandai, because they are CSs right now and what they are doing to their constituency, and you take a like of Dindi Nyoro, who is not even a CS, he's not even a chairman of anything now, because he was just bundled out now. He's just an MP for his area. Those people, when they are celebrating their Christmas, they are going to celebrate their Christmas just knowing, Christmas is not only celebrating of the day to 25th. It is celebrating just knowing that your kid has a future in January and is going to go back to school, to a school which has a very good environment, and going back to the village where you see roads have been paved well and the road network is very fine. So that was the question I asked Mark Obura, and I think he answered me well and said, I would like to take the likes of Didi Nyoro than the CS who is there. It's not that I like praising too much Didi Nyoro, but I've seen the work that he has been doing in his constituency. And that guy has been just working as an MP. Yeah. He's just an MP in his constituency, Kiharwe. Do you think that guy even needs to do so much of the campaign in 2027? He does not need to do too much of the campaign in 2027. He in 2022 he went unopposed. Do you think in 2027 somebody will try to oppose him with the brilliance that he is doing? Now I've also seen that he has given his people Christmas. The people will be enjoying the Christmas as they look forward to next year, because next year they will not be having a scenario of where they are going to pay school fees of 10,000, 13,000. They are going to be paying 1,000 at school. So even I think the likes of those parents already have paid their school fees in advance, as before they were going to be given the it's called what, the Christmas that they were being given by the. And it's very unfortunate that even likes of Akina Professor, who comes from where the presidents come from, we say that is the region where the president comes from. He gives you a contrast view of what is happening in Bomet and the kind of schools and the roads that are there. He was jokingly talking about, there is a assistant regional commissioner office. I don't know if you saw the assistant regional commissioner office that was opened by Didi Nyoro. He was saying that one, if it is brought to Bomet, it will become a level 3 hospital. It was very sad to hear those are the scenarios that are being given. But also I want to ask a question before I leave, because I was just giving that scenario. Nimesikia Natembea anasema watazika Jirongo na torch. So wanasema wakizika na torch, ati hiyo torch kizimika watu wale wako. Hii mambo ya torch imeleta shida mingi sana in the political circles because sijui kama watu wanaogopa kwa sababu wameambiwa tochi itawekwa huko.
Hizo ni siasa na mila za tamaduni, but wacha kabla sijaleta Ayaga, there's something that also I think like when you're looking it as a country, you could see how far we've become. If during this festive season, especially like from yesterday until the early morning of today, legislators, the members of parliament, they were parading their constituents and giving them Christmas, and people were really dancing, you know. And you could see somebody would just only dance because you've gotten some kind of like for today, you know. And you know, remember, these are the legislators. At the end of the day, it is a good gesture, but also look at it. That what can we do so that the things that you are giving, especially your constituents, can be affordable to them, you know, on how people line up, you know, and what culture are we bringing, you know, as legislators? What can we do? Maybe Ayaga, I still believe is a very good gesture that they are doing. But now look at it in terms of also like legislators. What can we do as a country, or what can we do as legislators, so that what is happening to make it quite much easy for the population that we are trying to celebrate with them one day, to afford such like commodities in easier way? Maybe especially the food stuff should be taken free of charge, without tax, free of charge of tax and all that. Mr. Ayaga, how are you doing? Ayaga, umeshamaliza kukula kuku bwana? Kuja. Hata Christmas imeisha bwana.
You can hear me?
Yes, umemaliza kukula kuku ndio sasa ukuje uongee.
Nimekula mbuzi leo. Nilikwambia mimi kama mzee, unajua miaka yangu imetosha kukuwa mzee. So kama mzee, kama wakati wa Christmas lazima tuchinje mbuzi, tukule na wazee wengi na watu wa ushago, hivyo namna hiyo.
Okay, sawa.
Yeah, so I don't celebrate Christmas too much because on this day I lost one of my uncle who was my best friend, my mentor. He died on this day in 2005. I think I was in class 6 by that time. So he left us tu kwake, kwangu binafsi. So nimesikiza umenitoa kwa studio.
Ayaga, uko studio. Uko studio yawa.
Makobura. Okay, nimejipata siko kwa studio. So thank you very much. So I think usicheke sana Makobura. Nimejipata siko kwa studio, so I will be a little bit brief because leo we don't want to do politics. Leo kila mtu ako na mambo yake, wa Kristo ako na Ukristo yao. But what I want to say that Brother Benson is coming to me, and I used to even say before when we meet around 2019, 2020, 2022, Eric Ayaga have always been consistent in saying, my friend, there is nothing like democracy. What we are doing in Africa is just managing what we were brought into by the UK, because those are our colonizers. What they brought here as democracy is not even working for them, because for them they have a king. You become a king by birth. Yeah, this prime minister thing is just a formality that is ratified by king after getting some few members of parliament. So your party wins the majority in parliament, either Labour or the other party. you can be prime minister just by a jove of that your party now gets many majority from that. Those are not the democracy we even practice here. What we are practicing here is totally different. Even if you look at US, they still have voting, they still have the voting system, but they still have something called electoral college, where each state have certain electoral college numbers that if you win in majority of if you win those states, we call them counties here back at home, with the populous majority, you can still be the president even after after being second or losing the majority vote. And I think that's how Trump became the first president. He lost to Clinton, the lady, the Madam Clinton, with about 1 million or 2 votes. But he still wins the presidency because the states he won. Actually, if you accumulate their electoral college, he emerges the winner in terms of electoral college. So that is not the democracy we are doing here. And I have always maintained 2 things. Democracy we are brought to Africa is a dissolution to democracy and religion. That's why sometimes, when I used to be a young person, when I entered Nairobi first, I used to have some friends in the city, so we used to go to a certain corner to discuss between Christians, Muslims. I sat down and I told myself, because I'm just caught myself in this nonsense, let me just say I'm a Christian. But Christian is the things that were brought to Africa is a totally mess. And you get our brothers from Muslim are chasing the mess. So you get a madman running, another madman running after it. So they will argue. They can even argue reading the Bible, reading the Quran. And if you sit down and you look at them, you will see it is just 2 people, mad people running anyway. So democracy, true democracy that was brought here is not working for us. And it can't work for us. So my urge is to people that let us manage, because in Africa we have our original setup where we had our small kings, chiefdoms, and others. In Uganda, they still exist. I think Museveni have played, and that's many people may say, Museveni is a dictator, but he has maintained. If you go to Acholi, they have their king. If you go to Padola, they have their king still. If you go to Buganda, they have still their king. If you go to Alur, they still have their king. So he has maintained that. He has cocktailed it into something that most of our brothers from Africa call the dictatorship or whatever. What Africa needs is service delivery. They don't even care. Like in UK, who becomes the king? Even if a madman is in the line, because there was a king called the unready. He was not even ready to take the kingship. He was at the age of 19, made a lot of mistakes. But kwa sababu the lineage, he was the man to be the king. I think King Edward, don't know the third or the second. Yeah, he just took over and he was the king. Yeah, so I'm telling Africans what we were brought into was a mess, and this mess we have to try to solve it deeply, doing deep soul searching. We jump into things because the people who brought us these things, they still follow traditions. And if you follow tradition back home here, you are called Mchawi. If you see Wakikuyu doing their traditional things, because these are witchcraft. A friend of mine, Joseph, have asked if tricky people will do their traditional way of doing things. You see people agitating. But we have seen now King Charles III being coronated. He was not coronated in a suit. They were purely doing traditional things after his mother's death. It was a pure traditional. They call it British tradition. Yeah, which started during 80s, during 1660s. Yeah, when who the great conquered that land, they still maintain that. But sisi yetu Ayaga akisema sijui babu yao alikuwa hivi, mimi nitaitwa mchawi. Sasa we must come to a life that these people, they gave us something that even themselves are not using it to govern their people. We must one day take our people back to a place where we belongs to. So I will come to Brother Benson question where he asked me of giving Christmas. Christmas, unajua hii kitu imekuwa it's a tradition that have been in our since they introduced Christianity, because you know for us tunajua Mungu alikuwa anaitwa Nyasaye na Kiluya because I'm a partially Luya partially Luo, but pia alikuwa anaitwa Ubongoweri in my mother tongue Luo, and he was called Ngai in Kikuyu. So our ancestors, they knew somebody called God. Hii tu Jesus na Mohammed tu ndio wazungu na Warabu wakatuletea. Hapa ndio shida iko. So wakati tuliambiwa hiyo siku ni siku Jesus alizaliwa, but they never shared the birthday of Mohammed, who was born later. So I don't know how they got the birthday of somebody who was born older as pictures, and somebody who was born 500 years later. They never share any picture and any birthday. Those are the questions I still have with this thing called religion that many people don't want to answer, to question, but me I do. So I'm saying it is a culture. What has caught up with us is digital era, where if Kayaga is doing a small thing at home, there will be somebody with a phone recording pictures and share them for likes or for anything else. So we may blame our politicians that you saw people in your TK are receiving this and that. These have been tradition. Kitambo tulikuwa tunapiga picha ili kuweka kwa album. Hata mimi sometimes I look at my pictures in 1999, 1990, 2000, whatever. I saw a crowd of people. I see we had some relatives. Some are dead, some are alive. Some are older, some are my age mates. But because the digital era has caught up with us, we should not demonize what used to happen. The problem, even if Erikayaga, people used even to stood with ladies along the road, even if you are a married man, you can say hi to a certain lady. It is not that our fathers were not cheating or our grandfathers are not cheating. There were no cameras that Makubura will take a picture and go and share it. I saw Erika Ayaga standing with somebody in an appropriate way, you see. So those are the things that have caught up with us, and we must learn how to live actually with such things. And I'm praying that our people learn how to live in a digital era. Sometimes we will do things, we share them. Not everybody will, because even the same Bible says as what you give with your right hand, your left hand should not know. But even if you go to the same Bible again in the book of Solomon, Solomon himself is saying, I have brought 10 shekels of gold, 100 kilos of silver, 10,000 to build a church. So alikuwa anatangazia nani? Na ile era hata ukitangaza ainge trend. So hii siku hata mheshimiwa akienda mahali atoe tuseme 500,000 in a trend. So these are the things that will be captured for the future, like what Solomon did, that was captured. We are reading it in the Bible. So I'm telling people that let us use social media well, and let us learn how to interpret the information that are coming back from home, because everybody, hata mimi pengine nilikuwa tu nakula mbuzi na wenzangu, then somebody will see me in a certain picture, not even me Rikayaga sharing, just a friend who I invited, or even an enemy that was passing by will share and say, now look at Eric Ayaga, he has placed 100 people there, they are eating good, you see. So we have to learn how to live with these people. If you can learn how to live with the current status of yourself, I think you will learn to live with peace. I will take my rest there unless there is a question. Makubura, back to you.
Thank you so much, Eric, for finding time to join us. To our viewers, this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. I want to take this opportunity to say a big thank you to everyone who joined, including Eric, Miguda, Joseph, Msimamo, and Brother Benson. We really appreciate, and everyone who joined us via the comment section. Thank you so much. May God bless you, and see you again tomorrow. I want to take this opportunity to wish you all, of course, a Merry Christmas, a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, a good night. See you again until tomorrow.